I'm Dallas Jenkins. I'm the creator of The Chosen, and I wanted to share with you a little bit of why I have actually signed on to be one of the executive producers of The Shift. I remember when I first saw the short film, The Shift, it was probably a couple of years ago, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know who this person is who made this, and I had heard that they did it for no money, but I'm really impressed, and I believe that this guy has a future. And I wanted to see more. I wanted to see where The Shift turned out. I wanted to see how it could be expanded upon. I wanted to see what Brock could do with an actual budget. So The Shift now has a relatively small budget. They're really keeping the budget low, and that's one of the things I'm trying to do, is help them maximize the budget that they do have and making sure that every penny that we spend is spent in the best and most efficient way possible, which is one of the things that I hope, if you've seen The Chosen, you've realized we did there too, was we didn't have Hollywood money, but we had enough to make something special. And I think that's what Brock has now. I think he's going to get, and I hope you can help him get, enough to make something special. And I think the message of The Shift and the future of The Shift is so important. And almost as important as any of that is Brock Heasley. He didn't ask me to say this, I promise, but I can tell you I've seen his work on a writing side, I've seen it on the directing side, and in my 20 years in the business, there are very few people who I've thought, I want to pour into this person because I think that this person has the chance to be an impactful and disruptive and important storyteller in this business, and that is Brock. Brock is someone who, when I read what he's writing, I'm connected to it. And I want to see more, and I want to be part of it. And it reaches me on both an intellectual level and an emotional level. And if you've seen The Chosen, maybe that's what you've appreciated about it as well, is that it's not just pure emotion. It's emotion that has some thought behind it, but it's also not pure intellect. It's intellect that has some heart behind it. And all of that is, there's kind of an umbrella over all of it of a spiritual importance. Something is being said about our universe and who created it.
Nothing. That I may be worthy tomorrow. I am greater than God. Jesus Christ.
And that's what The Shift is about. That's what The Chosen is about. It's one of the reasons why I've signed on board, and I hope you can get involved as well to be part of the beginning of what I believe is an important project and who I believe is an important filmmaker.
We need your help to turn The Shift into a full-length feature film. Click the link to invest in The Shift today.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to what we're calling the final night. Now, this is not the last live stream we're ever going to do. This isn't the end of Shift live streams as you know them, of course. What it is the final night before the investment round ends. Yes, angel.com/theshift is only going to accept investments for another 29 hours, I believe, give or take. Don't delay. Time is running out. I would hear from people consistently that regretted not investing in The Chosen when investment rounds were open for The Chosen. And after tomorrow, I think the same is going to be true for The Shift. So it's time. It's time to do that. But we've got a really great live stream planned for you tonight. We've got a lot of guests, so I don't want to take too much time introing anything, but there's the graphic. I missed the graphic already. $1.3 million is where we're at. We're so thankful. We're excited about that. It's 2,400 people, almost 2,500 people that have invested in this round. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much for believing in this project. I believe in Brock, and it's so exciting to see so many people believing in his storytelling capabilities. And speaking of Brock, let's go ahead and bring him on. And while he's coming on, I will tell you, there's this, if you're watching on Facebook right now, in the lower right-hand corner, there's this little arrow. That's the share arrow. Go ahead and tap on that or click on that and share it to your Facebook feed. And you've even got the opportunity to say a little something why you're watching it or why you want other people to join in. So go ahead and click that share button if you're watching on Facebook. YouTube, Brock, is there a way to share it on YouTube that you're aware of?
I don't really know. Maybe our others know our live stream, but I have no idea. It should be.
Yeah, I tell you what, if there's anybody watching on YouTube that knows how to share it on YouTube. Uh-oh, can you hear me? So Brock might be frozen. Ryan, whisper in my ear.
Oh, no, it's back. We're a little shaky tonight.
You know what? The technology is not on our side tonight, and I take that to mean that we're doing something important, that we're doing something that should be done.
Not on our side tonight.
As my headphones keep falling out of my ears
what is going on?
As well. So have I been here the whole time? Just say hello. If you can hear me. Brock is kind of talking to himself, I believe, unaware of whether he's there or not. But we'll bring him back on. Ryan, just continue to talk in Brock's ear until he's officially ready to go again. All right, he thinks we're back. We've got Brock. Go ahead and go through the run of show. I can hear you, Brock. I can hear Brock. But now he's frozen again. Okay. I'm going to start going through the run of show while we wait for Brock to get things figured out on his end. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. Love seeing the comments. Hello from Louisiana. Sarah, good to see you. Lakeland, Tiffany, good to see you. Canada, Melissa, thanks for joining us from Canada. You know the drill. Any question you ask in the chat automatically qualifies you to potentially win some merch at the end of the live stream. And we're giving away multiple merch. We're going to do more than one prize tonight. You have to be present to win at the end of the live stream, but you are automatically entered as soon as you ask any question at all. It can be snarky, it can be goofy, it can be silly, it can be punny, but it can also be related to the shift or something along those lines. So any question qualifies you to potentially win some merch at the end of the night. And here's the cool thing. It's not the same old merch. Brand new merch. We're revealing it tonight. Not yet. We're going to reveal brand new merch tonight. We're going to reopen the Shift merch store, and we'll give you all those details in due time. But let me run down the list of guests, okay? Liz Tabish is joining us. Liz is playing Molly in the Shift, the wife of the main character, and you might know Liz from The Chosen. She plays Mary Magdalene in The Chosen. Fan favorite, one of my favorites too, although let's be honest, everybody in the cast of The Chosen is still my favorite. I was, matter of fact, texting with Vanessa Benavente today, who has a new baby. Vanessa plays Mary Mother. I love everybody over there. So many of you have seen The Chosen trailer for season 3. How exciting is that? But let's get back to The Shift, okay? Liz Tabish plays Molly in The Shift. She'll be joining us live tonight. Rose Reid plays Tina, the waitress, who you remember from the short. Rose is a tremendously talented actor, and she is actually on vacation, so she pre-recorded something. I'm just going to spoil it right now. She pre-recorded something, but it's really cool. It's really fun. She is a light. She brings light wherever she is, and I'm excited to play that little video for you guys tonight. Jordan Alexandra, who plays Priya. Jordan is a Brit. So right now, for her, it's like 1 a.m., so she's actually not going to join us live either, but we've got a recorded interview that you're going to love, get to know her better, and for real, I could listen to her talk all day long. I'm a wonderful accents, so I love accents. Brock is going to come back on the way it sounds, and I'll just keep going through the list. Jordan Walker-Ross was going to join us, however, he had something come up and now can't, but you guys know Jordan. We love Jordan. Jordan plays Little James in The Chosen. He's going to be playing Brendan for us in The Shift, the jerk boss, which is
big jerk.
Completely out of which is completely opposite of who Jordan actually is. So it's going to be really, really exciting to see him portray that. So Brock, I left off at Jordan. Why don't you go through the rest of the list, and then we'll just keep moving ahead.
All right, I think I'm finally stable here. So yes, we're also going to be talking. Well, I don't know what order, what list are you looking at, Justen? Are you looking at this list? Or are you looking at our show list? Sorry, everybody, we're doing this live.
I'm looking at the show list. So after Jordan is producer Ken Carpenter.
Okay. So none of this is in the order we're actually bringing people on tonight, but we're also going to be talking to producer Ken Carpenter, who of course has been instrumental in putting this film together and brings a lot of knowledge and to the, anyway, you'll hear from him soon. We're also going to be talking with Angel Studios president Jordan Harmon, and he's actually the first one up, so he'll be coming up here real quick. You're definitely going to want to be here for that because as of just a few hours ago, Jordan's going to be sharing some breaking news with us. So I really, really want to be here for that. We're also going to be talking to casting director Beverly Holloway. She has some exciting news about how you can audition for the shift. We are fully into casting mode right now, and not just in our principals, but all the way through the whole cast, which is very, very exciting. We're also going to be talking to composers Dan Haseltine and Matthew S. Nelson, composers for The Chosen, are composers as well, and they are always a heck of a lot of fun to talk to. And they are very discerning artists. They do not attach themselves to just anything. So I'm very looking forward to talking to them about why the shift. Why would they do The Chosen and the shift? Why does the shift rank for them? That'll be fun. And then someone you've never met before is Vivian Aidukaitis, who is a designer over at Angel Studios, graphic designer, and she's done our merch for us, which we'll be introducing in just a minute. And also she has a surprise. She has a really, really cool surprise for us tonight, and you're going to want to stick around for that as well. And, before I forget, we're also making 2 cast announcements tonight, and one of our new cast members is with us tonight, and you'll meet them. So lots happening. I don't even think I've covered half of it. I think we need to. We're also going to be hearing from some of our actual investors, which is really cool. You'll hear why people are investing in the shift, and that's something that, of course, you can do for a very limited time, very, very limited time now. And if you're on the fence at all, then definitely listen to what they have to say. Listen to why they have chosen to put some money into this film and to make it happen and to want to be a part of things. And anybody who asks a question tonight will be entered into a drawing to win merch. And we're talking about the new merch that we're about to introduce in just a minute here. So ask questions, and at the end of all of this, we'll choose some questions and we'll answer them. And the last question that we answer tonight is our winner of the merch. Or I think we said we're going to do multiple winners, didn't we, Justen? How many winners are we doing tonight?
We'll give away a handful. You know what? We'll see how generous we feel towards the end. We should put we didn't talk about this beforehand. We can't shift that now. But hey, let's show that new merch. I think that's the perfect time to do that. Let's see what that new merch looks like.
All right, so these are our brand new Shift t-shirts with our brand new logo. And we've got 2 versions of our logo t-shirt, where we've got the Shift in the new configuration, in the new font and everything. Right there in the middle, we're going to have a red t-shirt option and a black t-shirt option. I'll be wearing the black, but we know that not everybody likes to wear black as much as I do. So you'll have your red there too. And then of course we also have our Find the Light shirt, and Find the Light is a phrase that we use to describe what the shift is about, and it is about finding the light. And that verb find is so important because the light exists, but it's not something that we can always see. Sometimes we're passing through something that's so dark that we're not really sure where the light is, but it is available to us, and we need to find it. We have to actually do something in order to access it. And so much of the shift is about that idea. And I think it's just a great reminder to wear across your chest. Why not? Plus a little shift logo there on the sleeve. I'm really, really excited about these, and I hope you are too. If you go to shop.angel.com/the shift right now, this is all available right now. So jump on over there. We're still going to be here. We're going to be here for a while. But if you want to get on it right now and place your orders, then please, we encourage you to do so. This is something that right now, merch purchases is something that supports the film. A portion of those purchases go towards the making of the film. And so that's another way to support this film. But we're not just stopping at t-shirts. We also have something else in the merch store that's brand new. If we can just get that up on screen here. We have stickers. So we have 2 circle stickers. I know one of them is definitely going on the back of my laptop, featuring the Shift logo. You have a red option and a black option. And then really exciting, Define the Light. Those stickers there, those are actually bumper stickers. So we have a white one, which will work on most cars, and then we have a red one, which of course will work on cars that are white. So both great ways to kind of show off your fandom for the Shift, and also a great way to strike a conversation. I think the phrase "find the light" is going to prompt some conversations. And about a year ago, we had some early merch, and one of our most popular designs was a Find the Light hoodie. Well, this is a totally different design, but with the same phrase. And we did hear from people that there were conversations that emerged out of that, about this phrase Find the Light. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that out there more. I think it really does speak to our aims with the Shift, especially towards those who, see our short film or see our test footage and say, oh my gosh, this is kind of dark. Well, no, yes, but that's not what the Shift is about. So that's our merch, shop.angel.com/the Shift. That's where you want to go to purchase that. But of course, the really big and important and get on it right now news, which we've already mentioned a couple of times, is the investment. That period is ending tomorrow. So also check out angel.com/the Shift if you want to be a part of making this film happen in that way and become partners with us. But that's what's going
easy.
on. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's super easy to open both of those browsers and just keep them on in the background. Mm-hmm. And when we wrap up the live stream tonight, just go over there, buy your shirt if you want, and the bumper sticker, gifts. Gift season is coming up. And then, make your investment if you haven't already done so. Add to it if you feel so moved to do so. And speaking of Find the Light, also, I did see a question asking who designed the shirts. We're going to meet Vivian Aidukaitis later tonight. Mm-hmm. She has been integral in not only stuff for the Shift, really had a hand in a lot of things for The Chosen and other Angel projects as well. And speaking of Angel projects, speaking of Find the Light, I know this first guest of ours is very, very much one who wants to find the light. He wants to bring more light into the world. And so if we have Jordan Harmon available, the president of Angel Studios, let's bring him on right now and introduce you to him for those that haven't met. Hi, Jordan. How are you
Good
doing
to see you guys.
this evening?
I'm doing awesome. It was smart of you to bring out the most boring guests and just kind of ramp your way into it. That was a wise decision.
We're not dummies at all. We're not dummies. Justin's gonna let you off the hook, but I'm not. No, that's far from the truth. No, Jordan, we're so excited to have you here. You've been a big supporter for a long time. Obviously, Angel Studios is a huge supporter, and you're the kind of guy who is working, I think, pretty much 24/7, because anytime I message you night or day, I'll hear from you at the oddest times. And so I know that you're working very hard. And of course, there's a lot of projects that are happening at Angel Studio, all of them extremely exciting. And so I just want to kick this off with just what makes the Shift right for Angel Studios?
The Shift is one of those very unique projects where, it took a while for, Brock's been working at this for a long time, and it took a while for him to start gaining momentum and people to start catching the vision. And what was interesting to me about the Shift that really got me excited was there's a level of there's like the junk food content that you can get on a consistent basis. Then there's other content that like you have to almost entertain yourselves, but because it's good values, you want to support it. You're having to use your own imagination to make it more interesting. And then there's content like The Chosen, and for me, that's the Shift. It has that depth that allows, I think, a viewer to walk away at the end of this when they finish watching it and go, man, I feel energized and excited, but at the same time, I feel inspired. I feel this immense sense of gratification. It's just there's something special about coming out of a film or a show or watching a TV series that when you're done watching it, you go, man, I'm so glad I watched that. I want to share with other people. I want to talk to other people about it because it really resonated with you. It relates to you. I always say internally when we're talking and when people ask me, why are you doing what you're doing? I have 5 kids, and we actually just had our 5th 3.5 weeks ago. But I have 5 kids. And so what content that's made today will dictate and mold the culture of 20 years from now. And so when I look at the shift, I want content like that to be nurturing and distilling into my children and my family the principles and values that are going to cause for a better world. That's why Angel's mission is to tell stories that amplify light. And so obviously the shift takes on heavy subject matters, but they're ones that are really important. And I think Brock and his team is going to do this in a way that is going to really surprise and cause people to be very uplifted by the content.
Yeah, no, I love that. And, one of the things I love about Angel Studios is the mission statement, which is to amplify light. And that speaks so powerfully to what we are trying to do with this film. And then all the other things you said too. I mean, it's an exciting film. I'm very excited about it, but the fact that you guys are excited about it, especially with all the other great projects, is thrilling. Now, for those that don't understand the relationship between the shift and Angel Studio, I can break it down very simply this way. It's my job and my team's job to make the film. It's Angel Studio's job to put the film out into the world. So with that in mind, Jordan, what is your vision for the shift's release? This film is made, it's done, it's ready to go out there. What do you see happening at that point?
Yeah, so we want the shift, and I think that for it to be a proper experience for the viewer, we want the shift to be a theatrical release. That to us is such a unique viewing experience, and it's a community experience where all the people who have been backing you and supporting you and following you on socials are going to be able to come together. And I can just envision getting into theater and people talking to each other and being like, man, when did you start following? Oh yeah, no, I've been here since October 2020 or whatever it is, 2022. The beauty of that theatrical event is going to be very, very special. And so that will be one of the big outlets that we want to take on right at the beginning. And so there's a lot of energy and time and marketing dollars that are going to go into that to get it to as many people throughout the world. Then after that, Angel has a unique business model, like with The Chosen, where we allow people to watch our content completely free. Now, I know we're trying to, Brock's trying to get people to invest in his company. He's like, people are probably going, well, hold on a sec. If it's free, how on earth are they going to make a return on this investment? And we created a very unique business model when we partnered with Dallas and The Chosen, and that we created a business model very similar to Fortnite in the gaming industry. So if you're familiar with Fortnite, that's great. If not, that's fine too. But basically what Fortnite did is they said, hey, we're going to launch a video game back in 2015, 2016. And they said, we're going to make it completely free. And the whole gaming industry is like, what? How on earth are you going to make any money off this? And then they started inside their app and ecosystem selling what they call skins or weapons or special different experiences that people can have and community experiences that are really powerful. And so with The Chosen, we've proven that this model can work inside the film industry and that you can give it completely away free, obviously after the theatrical window. But that being said, people can pay it forward so that more people throughout the world can see it. They can buy merchandise. They can experience the content in more enriching ways inside of Angel's app and ecosystem. And so that will be an immense way to monetize this. Matter of fact, today, 90% of Angel's revenue across all of our projects comes from our ecosystem, the ecosystems that we're building, people paying it forward, buying merchandise. Those elements really are powerful when your content's good, when it's excellent, when it's compelling, when people want to share it. But that being said, as investors, and I obviously am an investor in the shift, that's why I think that this has so much potential, is because it allows for us to do normal distribution like theatrical releases. There will still be DVDs and all the other things you would see inside of distribution. Or, for example, licensing deals. That'll be another mechanism that people will be able to view the shift. A licensing deal basically just means Angel Studios, we work with different streamers, which I won't mention today, but streamers that will actually pay money so that the shift can be on their platform as well as Angel's platform. And so there's lots of ways that people are going to be able to view this content. But we're very, very excited about distribution, and it's where our bread and butter is. We've built multiple companies, and we understand how to market and activate an audience. And so we're very excited to do that with the Shift audience and people throughout the world.
Yeah, no, the possibilities there are incredible. I think the fact that we're talking about taking advantage of the traditional routes that we're all familiar with, theater or cinemas rather. I've been told I can't say that word. When we're talking about that, and we're talking about the DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever it's going to be, but also there's this whole ecosystem that Angel has. I think the number of revenue streams that's available to the Shift is actually a lot greater than your typical Hollywood studio film, at least in terms of quantity. And I think the possibility of that is really, really exciting.
We also have some really fun announcements today as well. But
yes, we do. In fact, that's what I was getting to. You have got a little bit of breaking news to share with us on that front.
Yes. So without going into too many details, we are in the final stretches of inking the Shift's a very unique partnership and licensing deal for the Shift. Now, this is unique because generally speaking, streamers don't come try to license content this early on in the process, right? Usually it's a little bit down the road. But this particular partner loves what we're doing. They're very excited about the Shift. And so we are in the process of finalizing a multi-million-dollar licensing deal for the Shift, which is so exciting. Obviously, there's so much opportunity inside of this film, and we believe that there can be a return on investment. But with any investment, you can't invest money that you don't expect to lose, right? You don't put your your life savings into this if you're going to be in trouble if it goes away. But for me personally, I believe in the Shift, but I also believe that the Shift is going to change hearts and minds, which is almost even more important in every way, shape, or form than getting any return on my money.
Yeah. No, I could not agree more. I always say that money doesn't motivate me to make this film. It really doesn't. But I also am motivated to get a return for our investors. And I think what's exciting about this deal is that we're already seeing the possibility for that before we've even made the film. And so that is really exciting, and it gives me more confidence. I know it gives you more confidence as we go forward, and we look forward to sharing more details on this deal as it gets finalized. But the only reason that Jordan is making this announcement tonight is because it's that close that the confidence is there about its completion, and like you said, it is a multi-million-dollar deal, which is not a small thing. So yeah, the excitement for the Shift is very much out there. Jordan, you got any final thoughts for us before we kick you out of here?
No, kick me out. You've got much more important guests than I tonight, and so thank you for having me, Justen, Brock. It's always a pleasure. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Great to see you, brother. Yeah, Jordan is just a class act, and Brock insinuates that he works 24/7, but I assure you, he's an excellent husband, an excellent dad. He's a family-first kind of guy that just happens to also find a way to work really, really hard. Not unlike my partner here, Brock Heasley, and I'd like to say myself as well. We want to be family people first, but we also have a movie to make. And there's a very, very important member of the team that, holy cow, Brock, could you imagine doing this without our next guest?
No, I don't. I don't want to spend a lot of time thinking like that because I also want to sleep at night.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's bring on Ken Carpenter. I think we can do that right now, right? If he's ready. There he is.
There's the man.
Our wonderful producer, Ken. Hello, Ken. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm good.
Welcome, sir.
I'm so happy to hear that you guys are family first. I am football first, but family is right behind at this time of year.
Well, you're balancing us out. That's what you're doing. You're just balancing the team out.
It's important.
No, I think you've got Jordan beat though in terms of family size, if I'm not mistaken. Like you're being extremely facetious from what I know.
I've been blessed on the family front, indeed.
Yes, that's awesome. So So Ken, you are one of the most important people when it comes to getting this film made. You know, we brought on Dallas Jenkins early on as an executive producer, and Dallas has been so helpful in just kind of helping me figure out, you know, what the path forward is. In fact, he's one of the people that I reached out to when I was considering bringing you on and just saying, hey, Dallas, do you know this Ken guy? And Dallas immediately texted me back and he said, oh yeah, Ken is solid. Like you're good to go with him. And he was so right about that. And whereas Dallas is more of just kind of, you know, more hands off because he's with the Chosen and he's helping us with different things. But for the most part, he's doing the Chosen. You, sir, are 24/7 the shift. You are making it happen, making this film happen. For those that don't know, the director, which is me, dreams the thing up and has got to tell everybody what to do on camera. But the producer is the one behind the scenes actually making the film be a real thing and not just an imagination in some dude's head. So Ken is super important. And Ken, you've been working in the industry in a lot of different things, films and music videos and documentaries for years. Not a lot of sci-fi in your resume. What excites you about the shift? Why board this train with me and Justen?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, I think of three things, Brock. If anybody else watching is involved in film, you know, it starts with the script, and that's where every film project should start and get such a large amount of focus. But I love our script. It's crisply written. The pacing is great, and it takes us into really interesting places for all our characters. And I think we've got a really tremendously crafted story, and I can't wait to be a part of bringing it to life. So I love our script. I'm super excited about the privilege of stepping into the world of Angel Studios. From Jordan all the way through, I've been so impressed with everybody I've dealt with. What a team of passionate, professional, committed people all doing their part to give flight to stories that make a difference. And it's really invigorating and stimulating to step into that environment. And, you know, making a movie is a long road all the way through to release, and to have the privilege of walking alongside a great team is something I value a lot. And I'm really excited about what's happening at Angel. And then the third thing, Justen, I'll talk to you. It's a little awkward with Brock there, but I'm joking. But, you know, as a producer, one of my great privileges is to link arms with visionary directors, storytellers. And Brock has such a strong vision for telling this story, and we've been at it for a long time now. And the further we walk, the more I am just really convinced that Brock's going to do something special with this story. And he's got a gift, a God-given gift, and a well-developed craft. And I think those things are going to coalesce very handsomely come January in Atlanta when this story takes flight. So lots more reasons, but those are just a few reasons why I'm drawn to the shift.
No, I'll take them. I appreciate that, sir. And as you say, we are at this point, we're looking at just 3 months before we begin to roll film. And that means that we have a lot of work to do. I'm actually really glad that this investment period is ending tomorrow, because that means we can put all of our focus onto this film and head. We're already in pre-production, but now you and I will be even more invested in that. And really that's going to be all we're going to be doing for the next several months. And one of the biggest parts of that is getting our team together. We have some team members. We have some more that we need to grab and bring into the circle. What can you tell us about the kind of team that you're putting together for the shift?
Yeah, I think about the team. I led with football, didn't I? But maybe it's like the offense and the defense both need to work and complement each other. I think in terms of the team we'll put in front of the camera and the team behind the camera. Brock, you know, I'm so committed to working with you and with Bev to cast this movie in the most meaningful way possible. Both with our leads, Kevin and the benefactor and Gabriel, critical roles, but really all the way down the line. Every single role in this film is important. And I am thrilled with the cast that we've put together already. And I'm excited about the road ahead there and just to populate this cast in the best way possible. And we have the same level of commitment to populate our crew with the same level of craftsmanship. So from the director of photography and the production designer all the way through to the caterer and craft service and our production assistants and every role in between, we want to bring people who are really have evidenced that they're good at what they do and build a great team around Brock. And so, it's a long, difficult challenge to get that team together, but we're off to a great start.
Yeah, no, we definitely are. And it's exciting to see it come together. There are people we're talking to right now to join our team that we haven't obviously been able to tell anybody about because we haven't signed them yet. But I'm looking forward to some really powerful announcements in the near future. And one of the things that's happening, with a film like this going through the Angel Studios way, which is telling everybody about it and getting people on board with it way before we even make it. We're building our audience. We're with all of our investors and with all the people who are aware of this film. And with that comes a lot of inquiries where people are wanting to know, how can I join your crew? I've got experience in photography. I've got experience, as a PA. I can edit. We get all kinds of inquiries. And as I understand it, you have a little announcement for us tonight about how people now can finally reach out and explore that possibility.
Sure. And I am grateful for all the inquiries we've received thus far. And you're right, there's been a lot, but starting tonight, those inquiries can go to this email address. There it is, theshiftmoviecrew@gmail.com. And so I invite people who are interested in joining the team to send email, a letter of inquiry there, a resume, of course, maybe a link to your IMDb page. But that's a great starting point. We've got a team on the production staff here that'll review all those inquiries carefully. And, but yeah, that's the action point right there, is to reach out to that email address.
Yeah, there it is. So those of you that are interested, please do reach out to that email address. Like Ken said, it is going to be reviewed. Every one of them will be reviewed by our team, and we're going to start making those decisions here in the very near future, which is extremely exciting. Ken, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy. I know after this, you're probably just going to go and do something for the shift, and I don't even know what. There's a lot of stuff you do I don't even know about because there's just so much going on right now. But thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Ken.
Have a good night.
He's going to go watch football, Brock. He's going to go study game film.
It's probably wishful thinking on my part that he would just start working on the film and not watch the game. Because that's what I
there's no game. There's no game tonight, Brock. It's Tuesday night.
Okay.
In the history of the NFL. That's okay. That's you know what? You're a
what does the NFL have
and
against
that's
Tuesday?
The important thing. It's just not an NFL. It will be. I think there has been one in the history of the NFL, and that's when the Metrodome roof collapsed and the Vikings had to play a game on a Tuesday night. Yeah, somebody can probably correct me, but that's not important. We're not here to talk football. We're here to talk a number of things. So we've talked to Jordan Harmon, president of Angel Studios. We've talked to Ken Carpenter, our head producer on The Shift that's bringing all the pieces together. And we've talked about this being the last 28 and a half hours, if I'm correct. I mean, roughly, what you've got tonight and tomorrow to invest in The Shift at angel.com/The Shift. So if you've been waiting for the 11th hour, it's here. Don't wait any longer. Time is running out. And if you want some brand new Shift merchandise, go to shop.angel.com/The Shift. And you can keep those windows open in the background and stay with us here on the live stream. We've got probably a number of you are tuning in to hear from Beverly Holloway, and we're going to get to her very, very soon. But before that, we want to play this really I'm impacted by this video. And a few weeks ago, we asked investors to give us little videos of why they invested. Now, a number actually sent in letters, weren't necessarily comfortable doing it on camera, but we loved what people had to say. So without further ado, why don't we go ahead and play the Why I Invested video for you all tonight.
My name's Roper Kirby. I live in the Lubbock area, Texas.
Hi, my name is Aaron.
Jeremy Della Penta.
I have long been a fan of good story.
I have never been much of a sci-fi fan, but The Shift has turned that around.
This is not your typical film.
Os Guinness was speaking to a group of people, and he said that Christianity back in the day availed itself of creative storytelling in a way to make a point, and unfortunately modern Christianity doesn't do that as well.
Dallas Jenkins opened a gate to a new genre of faith-based film that is excellently crafted and disruptive and has such a potential reach and impact.
And so when I saw the story of The Shift, I thought this is a good story.
2 thumbs up.
It's pretty evident to me pretty quickly that The Shift is going to have a very large reaching impact.
I think people will walk out of the theater and finally understand the practicality of the religion. And to me, that's huge.
It is about uncontrollable things that happen to you and how you react to those things. This makes it universal because we all have things happen to us that we do not have control over.
And I think Dallas knows it. He's signed on. Discerning artists that have signed on along with him. Matt Nelson and Dan Haseltine were the first ones to see it. And we've got Justen Overlander and Ken Carpenter and so many beautiful cast members, and we still have more to go.
I am a supporter of The Shift, not just financially, but enthusiastically.
The reason that I've invested in The Shift is because I believe in what Brock Heasley's doing. I've always believed from the beginning that this project was an endeavor, not of just the creative sorts, but of something that can bring light into the world.
Putting something so beautiful out into the world, something that has such a potential for impact, even eternally, to be a part of a community that gets to watch it unfold and celebrate it when it's out there.
So I was like, here's my money.
This is a story that means something. It is seeking an opportunity to communicate not just a story, but a message to people at whatever point they are, at whatever level they're able.
It gives us hope. It gives us meaning. It gives us strength to endure.
And I felt it was my purpose to invest in The Shift for that reason, because I do believe one day The Shift is going to be part of someone's testimony.
How's that for an answer?
I am really looking forward to the completion of this movie and hope many, many people see it.
I hope you see it and I hope you join us.
So I'll be praying for you guys, and it's an honor to be able to invest in you.
And it is exciting.
Because that's what story can do. That's what good story can do.
And that's what it's all about. It's about the fans, it's about the audience, it's about reaching people, impacting people. And Brock, that's got to be somewhat surreal for you to hear people talking about your brainchild, your story, your baby that you concocted how many years ago? How tell me briefly, how do you feel hearing people talk about your project like that?
You know, it's weird. I don't know if out-of-body experience is the right way to describe it, but I don't think of this project as something that's like just mine. So I think that helps in a way where it doesn't feel like they're personally praising me. It's more, it's not about that, because I believe that number one, the Shift is a product of the effort of so many different people. And number two, that it's something that I have tried to follow inspiration as I have created it. So I don't see myself, I wouldn't give myself credit for it. So when they're praising the film, I don't think of it as praise for me. I think of it as praise for the film, for the project, which is so much more than my contributions, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense, and dude, it makes me love you even more. And how can you not get behind a guy like this? Kara, I know you're like, you've got a tear in your eye right now. I'm just going to call it out right now. I know. But let's, you know what, speaking of the team, let's bring on one of the integral members of the team. And yeah, you know what, Beverly, you're standing by. Let's say hello to Beverly Holloway. Hi, Bev. How are you doing tonight?
Okay, that video, awesome. Like, awesome.
Yeah, right?
Oh, totally. It invigorates me because you realize there's this whole group of people behind us who are like invested literally, and then cheering us on and praying for us. And that it's incredibly humbling, but it's incredibly invigorating. So through the process of this, I should just watch that video once a week, like on Monday, you know, and be like, okay, we're ready for the week.
Yeah. It has a similar effect on me, for sure. It's invigorating.
Yeah.
I cut you off.
Yeah, and
very cool.
No, it's fine. It helps keep things in perspective for us and help us recognize that we're doing this for bigger purposes. We're not just, we're trying to make a very, very entertaining movie, first and foremost. But above that, we want to bring some light into the world. We want people to leave this movie having conversations and feeling better about themselves and wanting to be better in their corner of the world. So that's, and Beverly, you have such a history in casting projects like that. And you and I have talked extensively about your history and everything. But let's focus on The Shift right now and just let everybody know what excites you about The Shift in particular.
Oh gosh, I think we've talked before. I think the last time that I kind of did a little video for the live, I was talking about the fact that I don't do a lot of sci-fi, and it's not typically a genre I find myself working in. So that is exciting in and of itself, because it challenges me creatively in new ways and challenges my sort of thinking in new ways, which is awesome. And that's always fun. So in addition to that, I like the way that this story challenges our thinking. I don't want to get too specific to the story, but the themes of this, even though we're set in kind of an interesting, multi-dimensional sci-fi world, the themes are very down to earth. Themes of value and worth and letting go of our past, what messages are we going to listen to when they're being fed into our mind, and understanding the truth of God, how God views us. Just all kinds of things. Those are universal, right? And those are things that we are, as humans, are dealing with and considering every day now. So while the universe in which our story takes place may seem a little otherworldly, the themes are absolutely on the money for what we as humans encounter every single day. And I love that, because anytime we visit those themes in a different way, I think it allows us to receive those messages in a fresh way. And sometimes hear them or understand them or internalize them in a way we haven't before. And I think that's awesome. I think I was working on the breakdown, and there was this whole thing of just self-worth and questioning whether we have value in this world. Like, who doesn't think about that, right? So I just love that these themes are so relatable. So that really excites me.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you connect with that. To me, that's something that's kind of emerged over time as a big theme of The Shift. And I think you're right. I think we all ask that question of, do I have value? Am I worth anything? I mean, some people legitimately wake up every day and wonder, am I even worth the air that I breathe? And I think that's a feeling and an emotion we can all identify with. You know, we've all had at one time or another. I know I certainly have. And this film is so much about that. Where Kevin really is wondering, like, what is the point of me? You know, and that is almost like a heartbreaking question to ask yourself. But I think it's very key to understanding what the aims and goal of this film are. So I love that you tapped into that. I think that's fantastic. You know, one of the things with this film is, I mean, every film casting is important, but I like to think that that this film is most important of all to get the casting right. But that's just because it's the one I'm doing. But also I think there is a thing to say, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. But I think with a film like this, that's a little bit more, you know, not totally in the real world, where we've got these really crazy concepts we're dealing with, and we're going to require actors to imagine things that don't exist, that are, you know, situations and that they'll never actually encounter, and they've got to somehow find the emotional truth within that. I think our casting is so important to get right on this, and I would just love your thoughts on that. Like, how important is casting for a film that is so different, that it takes place in a different kind of world like this one does?
Yeah, it's when the circumstances of the story and the world in which these characters live can seem so unlike our daily life or unreal. The characters, the actors have to be especially grounded, in my opinion, to a sense of reality, because that's what allows our audience to connect to them. If they seem unreal and unable to connect to, plus you have them in a universe that is otherworldly, then I think there's a strong disconnect. It's the characters and their humanity and their realness that is the throughway through this universe and through the story. That's where we hop on and take the journey, because we're interested in who these people are and what happens to them. So it's grounded, really internalized, grounded, authentic performances will be crucial to this story for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to jump in and just say, Brock, quickly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know we said that you would. No, I just want to say for this one, this could go drastically off the rails if an actor chooses to play a caricature rather than a character. And I think that is you nailed it on the head, Beverly, with just talking about being grounded, because this is an otherworldly story. And yeah, I just wanted to say that for whatever it was worth. I hijacked 45 seconds that we'll never have back. But Brock, go ahead.
No, actually, I love that. A character, not caricature. I think that's really key, just as far as the tone that we're trying to establish with this film. You know, we've got to bring, I love comedic actors, and I think sometimes comedic actors can give the best dramatic performances, but the last thing we want is a comedic actor coming in here giving a comedy performance. Like, that would be so wrong for this. We're going to get these big concepts across by rooting them, grounding them in something that's very, very real. And I know that as we've been talking about the cast, Bev, we've been talking about that aspect of this, and I think, I don't know, I'm really excited by who we've already got. I mean, we've got 6 that we've announced. We're going to announce 2 more tonight. I think we're killing it, personally. I really do. Like, we've just got great actors already. Yeah, really great actors, nuanced actors who bring tons of layers to these characters. There's nothing one-dimensional about any of these actors, for sure. And I also love that these are actors that may be known in certain ways and for certain material, but in many of them, this is going to be a complete departure from what you may know them from. And I love that too, because seeing an actor take their craft and kind of develop a role that you've not seen before is really fun, I think, for
for the audience and for you as the director to be able to explore that with them. So yeah, we're on a really good start.
Yeah, no, we definitely are. And and now I know, and in fact, I just got an email from you right before this live stream started. I got to take a look at with the breakdowns, because we are heading outward. We're about to open this whole casting process up to the world. And I'm very excited to hear what you have to say about that. And I know there's a number of people that are tuning in just tonight just to hear this part. How can people find themselves in a role in the shift?
So, yes, we are officially casting. You can see my little sign here, the shift. I should have put an "is" in there. The shift is casting. So, what that means is that we have the breakdown of all of the roles, and that will be going out through all of the traditional casting channels. So the main one is Breakdown Express, which will go to talent agents and managers, and then the companion to that is Actors Access. So if you're an actor and you have an Actors Access account already, you will be able to find the breakdown and see it and view the roles. We also have another opportunity, because we recognize that some of you may not yet have an Actors Access account, or may just be kind of venturing into the acting world. And so we did set up an email address. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun by sharing this. Oh, you guys are so good. It's listed on the screen, theshiftmoviecast@gmail.com. So the best thing that you could do if you're interested and don't have either an agent or manager or an Actors Access account currently, you can email that Gmail address. Let us know that you are interested in hearing more about the roles. We'll provide information that lets you know the roles that are open. So of course, we would love to include as many people as we can, but of course it's role specific. So we'll send you the descriptions, the ages, the types that we need. And if you fit one of those, then we'll let you know how you can audition for that and get us your tape and everything. Everyone who auditions, everyone who emails, we will take a look, we will consider, and we will see if there's a way that there might be a possible fit. So we welcome the emails and the inquiries.
Yes, we do. Well, Bev, thank you so much for coming on here, and thank you for all the hard work you've been doing, and all the hard work ahead. I think most of the work is still ahead of us. But,
yes, it is.
But I'm excited.
I am too. It's a joy to work with you, Brock, and it's always fun to be able to chat with you guys, and just really appreciate you. And thanks for letting me be a part of the team.
Oh, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Beverly. She is just, she's one of the good ones. She really is. She has such a big heart, and she's on the actor's side. And that's something that a lot of actors don't actually realize, is casting directors are on your side. They want you to be good. They want you to succeed. They don't want to waste time watching auditions that just aren't, well, we'll just leave it at that. So Beverly
I'll say
fantastic.
this, Beverly is a fantastic advocate for actors. We've had many discussions where she's brought actors to my attention and said, you really ought to take a look at this person. So she's paying attention very closely to who's out there, and not afraid at all to put them in front of me and say, even though you may not know this person, you really need to take a look. So if you catch her eye, she will fight for you for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But now that's not to say start bombarding her on social media. Please don't do that. Follow the channel, the Shift Movie Cast @gmail.com. Put that up there one more time, Ryan, and then it's some email. Yeah, the Shift Movie Cast @gmail.com. What did I say?
You said follow the channel.
follow the correct channels, meaning don't veer and think you're going to sidestep the protocol or the methodology that we have put forth.
Right.
Please do email theshiftmoviecast@gmail.com. Now this is in particular for those of you that don't have an Actors Access account or a manager or an agent that can get those breakdowns. If you have representation and you have Actors Access, that's the method you want to go through. That's the more reliable way to do it. So
definitely.
Anyway, that's wonderful. Good luck to those of you that are going to give this a shot. And I think it's a good time to remind people that we are still open for investments for like one more day. Angel.com/theshift. Help us pay these actors. What are we at? Are we at 1.
Yeah, what's our update?
313?
1.313. Nope, it went down and then went back up. So I'm going to go with 1.313. Yes. So it's going up and it's continued to go up. And look, we always see a rush, especially on that last day. We see a rush of investments as people, they've been waiting to the last minute, and the last minute is here. What we don't want to see, we're going to see them, but I hope we see as little of them as possible of people on Thursday saying, "Oh, I'm too, I know what happened yesterday, but can I please just do it now?" No, and it's not because I'm mean, and it's not because I'm stubborn. It's because we have to obey the law. The SEC is wrapped up in this. We cannot take investments past tomorrow night. It's just as simple as that. There's nothing we can do about it. So if you want to get in, now's the time. Or
right after the live stream, because I know a lot of you are saving that window in the bottom corner. So right after the live stream, go ahead and do it. Don't wait until tomorrow. All right. Yeah. Hey, so good segue from Beverly Holloway, our casting director, right, to now go into our casts. We're going to introduce two brand new cast members tonight. Stay tuned. That's coming up. Let's show the graphic of what we've got so far. I think we're at that point,
let's see what we have so far.
Brock, you go through the list and tell us who we've got here.
Okay, we've got we have Elizabeth Tabish, who will be playing Molly Garner. Jorge Garcia from Lost, we playing Ramirez. Rose Reid from Finding You, playing Tina. Paras Patel from The Chosen, playing Rajit Nadir. Jordan Alexandra from Boiling Point and Surprised by Oxford, playing Priya Nadir. Jordan Walker Ross, who unfortunately had to bow out tonight, will be playing Brendan. And Jordan, of course, is also from The Chosen. We have two Jordans in the cast. Thankfully, they're different genders so that we can we don't get them too confused. And we have Jordan Harmon, on our team over at Angel Studios. So we're just making this very difficult on ourselves. But that's our cast so far. It is a strong cast. I say we make it even stronger, but not quite yet, because some of those cast members, I think I want to talk to them first. Let's talk to who we've got. Who's joining us?
Yeah, well, we have a special little hello from Rose Reid, who is actually on a family vacation now. So just a really brief video. Ryan, go ahead and play Rose's video for everybody.
Hey guys, it's Rose Reid here. I'm in Tombstone, Arizona, but I just wanted to take a really quick second to let you guys know how seriously excited I am for this project, and I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I am beyond stoked to be working with Ken Carpenter again. As you guys know, I have worked with him before, and he is a total favorite. And then I'm also really just excited about the rest of this team. It's really shaping up well, guys. So this character, Tina, she's a totally different character than anything I've ever portrayed before. So I'm really excited to test my limits and see where we can go with her. I think Brock is going to be a fantastic director, and I'm so excited to work with him. So thanks so much for tuning into the live, guys, and I will see you so soon. Hey guys, it's Rose Reid here. I'm in Tombstone, Arizona.
All good.
She just wanted to say hello 2 times in a row, and yeah, we were chatting back. You know what? We're gonna pull back the curtain just a little bit, and I'm just gonna talk directly to Brock and say, yes, I forgot that we have another segment ahead of what we were talking about behind the scenes. So yeah, Jordan Walker Ross cannot join us unfortunately tonight. He's still on the project. We're very, very excited to have him. Brock, tell us a little bit about his character and why you think Jordan is going to be so amazing playing this character.
So Jordan's character is Brendan, who you'll recall from the short film is Kevin's boss and kind of a jerk. You give him a hard time about missing the morning meeting and the donuts, the sacred donuts that he missed out on. That is Jordan Walker Ross's character. And Jordan Walker Ross, of course, is one of the nicest people ever, and we're asking him to play a jerk. But what Jordan also is he's such a fantastic actor. And he is able to access a range of emotions. And even though, as little James on The Chosen, he's just absolutely 100% somebody that you fall in love with every time he comes up on screen, I am familiar with Jordan's range, and I see him so easily as Brendan. And so we want Jordan to bring all he has to bear on this part. And it's just really cool of him to join us and to be a part of this film. It's not a giant part. He'll probably only be with us for one day, but it's an important role, and it's one that I just know he's going to knock out of the park. I can't wait for you guys to see. Like Bev was saying earlier, there's a number of actors coming onto this. They're going to be doing something very, very different from what you've seen them do previously. And I think that's actually true of every single chosen actor that we've got on this film, Liz, Paris, and Jordan. They're all playing characters in The Chosen that are so different from what we're going to be asking them to do in The Shift, and that's just exciting. And it's hard to put your finger on it, but I see in each one of them, even in their performances on The Chosen, I see exactly what is necessary and what is needed for the characters that they're going to be playing in The Shift. Hard to explain, but it makes sense to me, and it makes sense to Beverly and to Ken, and we're so excited to have them on board and doing these things. But recently, it was a couple of weeks ago that we announced Paris is playing Rajit, and as part of that, he did a really fun introduction video, announcement video to announce himself as Rajit, and he did that with Liz and with Jordan. And for those of you that didn't get a chance to see it, I thought it'd be really fun, since we don't have Jordan with us here tonight. I thought it'd be fun to revisit that video. So when we said, here's the actor who's going to play Rajit, this is the video that came up, and we made that original announcement.
Surprise! I know I came on earlier to announce that I'm playing Brendan in The Shift, but that's not all. I'm also playing Rajit. Brock had reached out the other day and asked if I would be interested in...
He also invited me to play Rajit, and as well as Molly, so I think he's like
weird.
Maybe not sure which one of us is going to be playing, but I guess we can trade lines.
Yeah, I mean,
back and forth.
We could try that, or like just alternate scenes, maybe.
Yeah, so it might be an awkward.
Either way, yeah. That'll be
envisioning of a character, but
yeah,
surely there must be a better.
I mean, it is alternate realities and stuff, so I guess it can work. I wonder. Maybe
it might be a better option.
Yeah.
You know what? I think let's leave it to me to play Rajit. How do you all feel?
I think
that's the best.
Okay.
Best choice. Yeah.
Great. I agree and I accept, and I am Paras Patel, and I'm so happy to be playing Rajit Nadir on The Shift with these guys.
Yeah.
Yay! It's a reunion and it's great, and I can't wait to get started. It's going to be a blast. I love the story, the script, and it's going to be an amazing time. Too bad none of us have scenes together, but we'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll be there in spirit.
Yeah. See you in the multiverse.
See, yeah, in the multiverse.
Yeah.
I gotta read more.
Hey.
So much fun.
That video makes me smile every time.
Yeah, me too. And one of the people featured in that video is none other than our darling Liz Tabish, who I believe is standing by. Liz, are you there? Look who it is, everybody.
Hi.
Liz, where are you at right now? Like, you're traveling the world, the country, all over, right?
Well, yeah, my fiance and I just drove across the country to move to Ohio. So we're in Ohio now.
Wow.
And next week we're going to Europe, to Spain and France for some chosen press junkets.
Oh, that's
So
exciting.
we are so lucky to have you in this little tiny window of availability because you're so busy, you're in demand, and rightfully so. Liz, you're so talented, so gifted, and such a joy to work with on set, and we're honored to have you on the shift. And I have we talked about this yet on a live stream? What initially drew you to the role?
I mean, I don't remember what we talked about last time. I remember reading the script while I was in bed with COVID, and it just like brought me back to life a little bit. I was so excited about this character, Molly. She is so multidimensional, which is so fitting for the theme of the film. And what really stuck out to me was this very idiosyncratic and kind of offbeat sense of humor and heart. She's, he meets her at a bar and she doesn't even drink, and she's going on this sort of long monologue about serial killers and the sort of moral responsibility of serial killers not killing. And it's just like some of the strangest and funniest and like actually thoughtful stuff that I've read for what seems to be like a meet cute scene, but it's really unique, really, really original and really human and, awkward in moments and then just, really darling and charming in others. And I was just so excited to be able to play something of a romantic, not, lead, she's more of a supporting role, but without it being about that. It's a little bit more about the spirit of their love and the spirit of love and her heart, which really attracted me to the role.
Yeah. Well, I think you answered our second question, which was, what can you tell us about Molly we wouldn't know from the short film? I think you described her character perfectly. And I think I've said this before, that, Molly is such an important character to me because she is the character who I kind of based off of my wife. And that conversation about serial killers, that was a real conversation we had back in college. And, it's a really important role. And really Molly represents for Kevin, what he's trying to get back to, the goodness that he's trying to return to. Because throughout the course of the movie, he's denied goodness, he's denied light for so much of it, and so she is kind of his beacon that he's trying to return to. And you're not going to sell that idea if you don't have somebody who's really powerful in that role and who can get that, what that character is about. And my goodness, I mean, I think you got there without even talking to me. I mean, you got it from the page, which is just so inspiring and confirming that we've chosen very, very well, Liz. And so I'm so glad that we have you.
Oh, thank you. I'm really excited about this. And I don't know how much I can give away about any of it, about the script, but just I'm really excited to be able to play variations of her. The various version or elements of her aspects.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and there's a scene that we can't even really hint about, but there's one late in the film that you have. It takes place in a mall, and I'm very excited for that one in particular, because I think there's without spoiling, there's a bit of a devastation that happens in Molly and Kevin's relationship. And that devastation has reverberations throughout the film. And there's a moment towards the end where you're really going to get a chance to where the two characters kind of address that with each other and kind of, talk about that devastation and talk about what the result of that has been. And you really get the sense that they haven't really had an opportunity before that to have a conversation like that. Devastation is one of the things that I think of when I think of you in The Chosen. When we meet Mary, she is a devastated person. do you see, they're so different. One's in a contemporary setting, one is in a 2,000 years ago setting. Is there any crossover here at all between these characters?
I think so. I mean, I think they both have so much heart. Both of them have so much love to give, and they're both really hopeful for goodness, hopeful for good things in their lives. Of course, we don't see that with Mary early on. We see despair, but even in her despair, she's like trying to do something, little things to find the way out of that despair. So I think there's some similarity there. Other than that, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of differences more than anything. But I think Mary also kind of has a little bit of a sense of humor, and maybe not a huge one, but
no, she does.
There's some funny moments that she gets to play, not often, but I'm excited to be able to play some this vast array of emotions in this shift. She goes, yes, from despair, but then some really funny moments, and then just like everything in between. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's a psychology professor. Like she is a lot of different things, and I think that also might be a parallel to Mary, where she has lived lots of a variety of emotions.
No, I think you're right about that. Now, Mary, of course, is what most people know you from, and that's like 2,000 years ago. It's a very much a period piece. Have you done a lot of contemporary work as an actor?
Yeah, I mean, most of what I've done, well, it's mostly been commercial work. So, doing laundry and vacuuming and picking up my fake kids and in commercial work, I'm used to that. But yeah, I mean, I guess indie films I've done. Mostly contemporary, but the other major thing that I've done was AMC's The Sun, where I played Pierce Brosnan's mother when he was a child, and that was a period piece. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that. That was, I think, the first period piece that I had done, and I was really excited about being able to sort of transport somewhere else in another time, and I got so lucky to be able to play Mary in The Chosen to continue this period piece for a variety of seasons.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky to have you in this not so period piece, but it's also something it's contemporary, but of course it's set off in its own little world. But I feel so blessed to have you in this part. It gives me such confidence. I'm excited when we get to the point where we are casting Kevin and letting that actor know, hey, we've got you set up with a really powerful actor. I think that they're going to be very excited to work with you. And I know that's a big question mark for you. It's your scene partner for every single scene.
I'm like, who is it? Do you guys know? I didn't know if this was going to be the live stream where you revealed it, but
no, we're not. We don't know. Believe me, I would tell you before the live stream. I would tell you the minute I know that. Yeah. No. You get to know that information ahead of everybody else. But no, we don't. We're not announcing him tonight. But yeah, definitely in the near future, because we roll camera in 3 months, so we'll be figuring that out really soon.
It's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up fast. So we'll get there. Well, thank you so much, Liz. It's good to see you.
You too.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Safe travels.
Soon.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
She's all right.
She's okay. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. We'll take her.
We did her a favor.
I was watching some of the comments come in, and people connected to and still connect to Liz as Mary Magdalene on The Chosen in such a remarkable way. And I still remember, like, I was in the audition room with her for her callback audition, and I was the scene partner for her, and we were crying at the end of the audition. So when Beverly was talking about human people, playing these roles, I mean, Liz is grounded in such humanity, and the entire shift script is grounded in such humanity. So yeah, Brock, you hit the nail on the head when you talked about how you're just at ease. You're comforted by the fact that we have Liz, such a powerfully strong actor, to play this role. So yeah, keep those comments coming in. And a reminder, if you ask any question, it's not, we're not ignoring the questions. We don't always see them. I'm looking off on the side here, and our angel team, Ryan, Esther, whomever else is there, will flash up questions on the screen. We're saving most of them for the end, just so we can try to stay on schedule. But any question asked at any point makes you eligible to win some brand new merch at the end of the live stream. You do have to still be here in order to win it, and we'll probably give away a couple. We're going to give away more than one. So keep those questions coming in. No question is a bad question. All right, Brock, what's next? So we've got 2 Jordans down. We've got a third Jordan that we need to talk to tonight, right? So why don't you introduce us to Jordan Alexandra?
Yeah, so Jordan Alexandra is the actor who will be playing Priya. And Priya is the wife of Rajit. Rajit is being played by Paras Patel. And Jordan is somebody I'm very excited about. She's going to bring a completely different flavor to this cast. So far, she's the only foreigner that we've cast. Foreigner. I mean, she speaks English, but she's from London, as she likes to say. I asked her what was the best country, and she's all just London. London's fine. So she's from London, and so she speaks with a beautiful accent that all Americans are suckered by. We always think that the Brits are more intelligent than us just because of their accent. At least I do. That's the mistake I make. But Jordan actually is very intelligent, and you're gonna see that here. This is an interview I did with her just a few days ago, because again, she is very much probably asleep right now, given the time zone difference. Here she is. This is your introduction to because we've never had her on before, but this is your introduction to Jordan Alexandra, who'll be playing Priya. Hey, Jordan, it is so good to see you and have you with us tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
And you are coming to us from the far, far land of, you know what, there are so many names, I don't even know which one to call it. Do I call it the UK? Do I call it England? Do I call it Britain? What do you prefer? I don't even know.
Go with the UK, London. I'm in London. So
London.
yeah.
All right. I like that. I like that. So tell us a little about yourself and like where might people be able to see you?
You can see me in films such as Surprise by Oxford. That's just been in the Heartland International Film Festival. So that's really exciting, and that will be coming out soon later this year. So yeah, you can see me in that. You can also see me in Boiling Point, which was an incredible film to be a part of as well, all filmed in one shoot. So yeah, I've been really involved in some really, really exciting projects, both with American teams and UK teams. And I'm filming stuff now as well, which I can't unfortunately discuss too much, but you'll see a lot more of me for sure. So it's all very exciting.
You're already doing some pretty big stuff, and I don't know what this thing is that you're keeping a secret, but I think it's something pretty significant and pretty big that I'm certainly looking forward to finding out more about. But I mean, how did you get into this? Like, what was the attraction for you?
I always loved acting. I lived in Brazil for 2 years, and just before I was coming home to the UK, there was this big production of Chicago that they were putting on. And I would desperately wanted to be in it. I couldn't sing, and you had to stop, but I was convinced that I was like going to be great for the singing roles. But I left too soon. I couldn't be involved in it. And I know it sounds so ridiculous, but it always really played on my mind. Like at that time, it felt like such a big thing. You know, the first time that I'd be able to like be properly on stage and maybe do something. And so I came up to the UK and kind of left acting for a while, and then did it for A-levels. And again, I loved it, but a lot of people in my classes were, you know, just they shone really brightly. They really shone. And so again, I was just very uneasy, and it all kind of felt very far away, and you know, like a big dream. And then I did psychology at university, fell in love with people even more and trying to understand them. And when I left university, I just didn't really know what I wanted to do. I couldn't figure out And then I think I sat down one day with my parents and I was crying because I was doing like a normal 9 to 5 job. And I was like, it just doesn't feel right. I don't like it. I don't know what to do. And they said, what do you really, really want to do? And after 5 minutes, I got the courage and kind of admitted that it was acting, but it felt really silly to me. And yeah, they just were like, well, you got to do it. You know, you have always been interested in people. I loved psychology. I loved learning about people, but I knew that I didn't have what it takes to really do psychology as a career, you know, to be a psychologist. So yeah, acting was kind of my entryway into people's minds and getting to embrace other people and the way they do things different to me and finding out more about them, but in a way that was more creative and kind of suited me and the lifestyle I wanted more, in terms of having, you know, a schedule that wasn't so consistent and repetitive, because I didn't do well with that.
Yeah,
so yeah,
no, I identify with that. That's all. And you know what's interesting is that I this is the first time you've told me that, and as far as like what your attraction to acting was, and I've already seen that just in our interaction so far, and the questions that you're hitting me with about Priya and wanting to dig into her more. Like, you're very much tackling it from a psychological perspective and digging into the character in that way, which is so different from somebody who, you know, just wants to be famous and get on screen. You know, you're really passionate about that side of it, and I love that, and what how lucky we are to have you because of that. Now, you worked on Surprised by Oxford. In that movie, you worked with both Rose Reid, who will be playing Tina for us, and you worked with Ken Carpenter, our producer. So the question I have for you is how awful of an experience was that?
So terrible. I hated every moment of it. I'm kidding. It was amazing. They're both incredible people. Rose kept me entertained every single day on set that we got to work together. And Ken, as you know, is just lovely. He just brings good vibes to set. So it kind of really relaxes you into doing what you need to do. So it's just what you need.
No, you're so right about Ken. Obviously, I haven't worked with Rose yet, but I'm looking forward to that. But Ken and I have worked together a lot in putting this film together over the past year. And he does have a very calming effect, doesn't he? Like, he's very even keeled and nothing rattles him. He always seems to have the right joke or the right, you know, the right perspective on things. So other than Rose and Ken, what draws you to the shift? Like, what have you done a sci-fi before, and what is it about Priya that excites you?
I don't think I have done a sci-fi before. I love sci-fis. You know, Interstellar. I've just always been obsessed with stuff like that. So, I really love the way this was written. You know, it's very, very, as I mentioned before, like, it's very complex, and with that complexity and the way that things don't really run in a linear way is what adds to this, and how interesting it is, and how it really like captivates you and grabs your attention. So that was really, really interesting to me. Like, from the first like moment, seeing the way that it's moving, you know, and the way that the story is written, it really does make you focus hard in what's going on and following that storyline. And also, I'm very aware I don't want to give too much away. Also, I really loved, so for Priya, I really loved the relationship that her and her family have. I think family is really, really important for me. So also seeing that in the text and knowing that was going to be portrayed was really, really special. And whenever you take on a new role, you're reading a script, you're looking for the things that not only you find interesting and you're enjoying about that script, but the small moments that are going to be portrayed to an audience. Like, what are they going to take away from that? And yeah, I think love is a really special thing, and it's something that we experience on so many different levels with different people. And to be able to show that with my husband and children, and whilst there's this whole bigger story of love and choices and almost this idea of good and bad, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm, going back and forth throughout the entire story. I just really appreciated that character gets to kind of have that little moment, and you get to see this family element that really does add to the storyline, you know? add to the greater picture of it all. So.
Yeah, no, I think if you take Priya and Rajit out of this film, I think you end up with something that's very depressing. They are so key to understanding that love and light can exist even within the darkest of circumstances, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing when you light up the screen. I think you light up the screen on your own. We're just going to lean into that and let you just light up this movie. And that's something I'm very excited about. Okay, so I have to ask about the hair. So, we've talked, I'm very open to your ideas and your feedback on this character. Is something we want to create together. Are we looking at Priya's haircut? What do you think? What are we looking at here? This is by the way, it looks fantastic. I love it. So let me preface that. You look amazing with short hair, but what do you think?
I definitely really like the idea of Priya having short hair. And, I think that what she's going through as a mother, and the last thing she wants to be thinking about is whether she's got a good blowout or, if her hair's looking great or, all of that stuff. Having long hair, and I've had all different lengths of hair. I used to really have very long hair. And when you have things to do and you have somewhere you see and you're on the move a lot, the last thing you want is your hair in your face blowing around and thinking of it. It is really distracting. And I can definitely see Priya rocking a short hair just to enable her to really focus on what's important, the priorities of her family and safety and, being able to give her time to that unit that's so important to her. So yeah, I can definitely envision her with short hair, but who knows? Let's see.
Do you have any parting words for us before we sign off?
I just want to say that I'm so excited and hello to everyone who's tuning in and the rest of the cast as well, cast and crew. I'm really looking forward to working with everyone. So thank you for having me on here today. And hopefully you'll see lots more of me, and hopefully on an actual live. Hopefully at some point I can actually get on a live,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that time difference is a bummer, isn't it? But
yeah,
we'll get you. We'll get you. If anything else, when you're on set. But hey, thank you so much, Jordan. Appreciate you. Looking forward to the next few months and when we get together and do this thing for real.
Thank you. Speak to you soon.
Well, if you need me, I'm just going to be over here listening to Jordan talk a little bit more. Isn't that just lovely?
Yeah. No, she does. She has such a wonderful voice and way of speaking. No, yeah, and
wonderful.
We gotta keep that intact for Priya. I'm so enamored with the way that she speaks. I'm just that's the character. That's how she talks.
Yeah. Wonderful job on the interview, Brock. Thank you for doing that and for introducing us all to Jordan, Alexandra. So 3 Jordans tonight. No more Jordans. We are done with the Jordans for now.
Done with Jordans.
That's not to say we can't bring another Jordan on. I don't want to discourage you if your name is Jordan to not audition because we've already got our fill. That's not true. That's not the case. By the way,
but if your name isn't Jordan, it's probably a plus at this point. I'm just saying.
It might be. It's hard to say. But for those of you that are tuning in late or missed it, you can actually audition for The Shift. We're sending breakdowns out through the traditional channels like Actors Access, and agents and managers are going to get that. But if you're not represented, you can actually email theshiftmoviecast@gmail.com. Ryan got that lower third up there just in time because I had forgotten, and I saw it right there. theshiftmoviecast@gmail.com if you want to learn more about potential audition opportunities. And if you're a crew type person, you can actually submit a nice cover letter, resume, maybe a link to IMDb or a demo reel of some sort. And that is a similar address. It's The Shift Movie Crew theshift@gmail.com. So if you can remember the Shift movie, and if you want to audition, the Shift Movie Cast@gmail.com. If you want to apply for the crew, the Shift Movie Crew@gmail.com. Speaking of crew, you can't do a movie without having some kind of soundtrack, right? Oh, yeah, did I jump the gun? I jump the gun? Okay.
Jumped the gun just a little bit because I want to just speak to a couple things real quick. You're probably wondering where our new cast announcements are. Before we move on to what we're going to move on to next, I think it's important to acknowledge we have not announced our 2 new cast members yet. We're doing a little bit of a reshuffling. That is still coming. The other thing I want to remind people of, we had a big announcement made earlier tonight, and if you missed that, the Shift is on the cusp. The president of Angel Studios, Jordan Harmon, announced this. It's on the cusp of signing its first licensing deal, which is incredible because we haven't even made the movie yet, and this is a multi-million-dollar deal. So this is a film that has already getting the what we need to make it, and also to pay back our investors, which is an incredible position to be in. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that as they're making their decisions about whether or not to invest tonight and through tomorrow. And then, of course, that's it. Angel.com/theshift to check those details. So sorry, Justen, as you were.
No, not at all. And I've seen multiple comments of people going to the website and getting the message that says not currently funding. If that's the case, refresh your browser. That shouldn't be happening. So angel.com/theshift. If you type that in exactly, and you know what, I'm going to type. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting word that it's fine.
Yeah,
I just checked
should be fine.
It's working. Maybe there was a glitch for a minute, but it's all good now, so you shouldn't have any troubles.
And I did as well, but just to cover all bases, I went ahead and I typed it in the chat on Facebook just to be sure. But yeah, 1,320,000. That's fantastic, and we appreciate every one of those dollars. So thank you so much. Now. We will introduce our new cast members shortly, but can we now talk about the soundtrack?
Now we can bring in the real talent for tonight. No. We've had lots of talent on tonight. I'm actually comparing myself to them. They're the far more talented people. So let's bring them in. Yes. I'm screwing this intro up.
Hello,
there they are.
Boys. Hello.
Welcome, gentlemen. Go ahead, Justen.
No, hey, you know what? If you want to do it, Brock, I'm not going to fight you for this, okay?
Don't. I'm not trying to.
All right, I'll do it.
I'm not trying to usurp your powers. This is Dan Haseltine and Matthew Nelson, the composers for The Chosen, and also, notably, for The Shift. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. It looks like you're actually in your studio. You're coming to us live from your studio.
That's
right,
correct? Live from the studio, because we're probably about chest deep in season 3 of The Chosen.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Does it feel...
It feels a little bit more like...
Yeah. We can
but
we can almost see over the steering wheel right now. But yes, we're underwater in the 3rd season of The Chosen right now, which is spectacular. It's gonna be...
You shouldn't be underwater, guys. You should walk on the water.
Oh, yes, but...
That's where you're messing up?
Yeah, but...
Keen insight.
But there was a flood. Sorry. Inside joke.
Oh, we need a gif of that eye roll that Dan just gave you.
This is why I do this.
Yeah.
We were well, if you'd like for us to talk in English accents for the remainder of the interview, we can try to do that just to appease Justin's ears. Because we all enjoyed listening to Jordan speak.
Also, because you're probably going to ask, this is the hair that I am going to be composing music. That's what I'll have. So, just, I know the people want to know that.
I mean, it might work. We'll talk about it, Dan.
Okay.
It's okay. It's
I'm
okay.
open
I
to
think
some
we can
direction.
do Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. No, gentlemen, we are honored to have you with us here tonight. Honored to have you as part of this film. And for those of you that are newer to The Shift, you need to know that these guys have been with this movie for a long time now. I think we first connected about you guys doing The Shift back in August of 2020, which is quite a haul.
It was back when you could afford us.
Oh, man.
It's one of those things where looking back, I'm still astonished you said yes, because it was such a small thing at that point. I think we were only going for $1 million budget, and we didn't even have Dallas yet, and it was one of those things where you guys read the script and you liked it and you said yes, and I was totally shocked. Because we didn't even know each other. It's not like we had a friend connection. You guys liked it, and so here we are a couple of years later, and you've stuck it out. You've had faith that yes, I'm going to make this movie, and here we are 3 months away from shooting it. So certainly everything's looking good there. But the big question I guess I have for you tonight is, and I'm hoping you can answer for people, is why The Shift? Why in the world would you sign on to something like this when you've got this sweet, sweet gig doing The Chosen, and which is very, very different from what we're doing with The Shift?
Well, the brief story for anybody who hasn't heard us tell it before, we have a bit of a fan club. There's a wonderful lady named Kara Cottom who lives in Austin, Texas, who very graciously wanted to start a fan club for us, and she had been chatting with you, Brock, and she is the person actually who reached out to me and wondered if Dan and I would consider talking to you about your movie, and so I thought at the time we were had kind of just gotten our feet wet with The Chosen, and we're really enjoying the work, and we're keeping our ears to the ground for other similar projects, and we're very excited about the way The Chosen has blown up, and this model that they've used so successfully to raise funding. The stuff that was going on at Angel just seemed to be a really exciting place to be, and so we kind of thought, like, well, anything that's going to be along the lines of what we've been doing here recently seems like that would be at least worth having a conversation about, to see what might be there. And then we read the script, and the script was really outstanding and went in all these surprising directions, and it seemed, maybe more than anything, it seemed so vastly different from The Chosen, and it felt like it could be a wild adventure to go do something that's so different from The Chosen, yet as a filmmaker, I think that you have a lot of the same value. You and Dallas share a lot of the same values in terms of where you want to see this medium go for people who are believing people, and want to create art that reflects faith and how we engage it as humans.
Yeah, well, and that is what's so encouraging to me about what you guys are, what you and Dallas and on the whole team are doing with The Chosen, is that I think it's really showing that there is room for us to do, different things with faith in our entertainment. That there's kind of this stigma and I know Dan especially has spoken to this many, many times, that there's this idea of what faith entertainment should be and should look like, and it's been very fixed for a while. And I think The Chosen comes along and it really upsets that, and it really reframes it in a way so much that there are people who watch The Chosen who aren't even Christians at all. And before The Chosen, I think there's been very few media that have been able to cross over like that. And certainly one of our goals with The Shift is that it also is able to cross over and do that. And we were already seeing that. I got an amazing email just the other day from somebody who's, told me straight up, I don't believe in God, but I just invested $1,000 into the shift because I believe in what you're doing and I believe in the message. And I just thought, man, that's incredible. That's incredible. I mean, it's one thing to say, yeah, I'd like to see this movie, and I'm not even that guy that you're really going for. It's another thing to actually invest in the film. So I think there's room for something like this, and that's terribly, terribly exciting. Now, you guys have had 2 years to think about the shift and the music that you're going to do for that. And I'm sure you've done nothing in the last 2 years but think of that. So this shouldn't rattle you at all. What do you see? What do you see happening musically with the shift? Can you give us, nothing we're going to hold you to. You haven't really done any of it yet, but that's not true. You have done the animatic, and we're going to be showing that pretty soon. You did all the music in that. But can you give us some idea, what are you thinking about? Where is it at right now? What are your thoughts on with the music of the shift?
We were actually talking about it today, like we were talking about it yesterday, the day before that, and even
the year
before that, and but anyway, no, we when we've talked about the music, I think what seems to be true for both Matt and I is that we don't want to just create a score that sounds like every other science fiction film score. We know there are conventional things that people are used to, and so there's this balance that we need to strike between what people's expectations will be, and then also being able to just completely disrupt their expectations. And I think what we want to do is we want to create something that is unique to the shift. At different points we've talked about different instruments we'd like to maybe try or use, but I think we're holding all of that very loosely, because I think when we actually see the acting performances, when we feel the sense that's coming off the screen of what the story really is, it's going to dictate a little bit of what we do, and it's going to give us just a much deeper pool to draw from in terms of the textures and the kinds of noises and sounds that we will add in to try to benefit the story being told.
No, that's I just can't wait to hear what you guys cook up. I mean, anybody who's a fan of your score for The Chosen knows that you guys you make decisions, musical decisions based on very interesting ideas that are rooted within the story, and it's not your typical thing, and there's a reason why The Chosen soundscape is so unique. But look, obviously sitting right next to me right now is somebody who hasn't been with us tonight. Erin's my wife, and I told her that she wanted to come and say hi. She could, and she said, "I'll come on when Matt and Dan are on."
I did.
So,
hey, Erin.
I did.
Well, see you, Erin.
I did. So I've been
taking up the
listening.
Whole screen.
Okay, so I have a pressing and important question for you. Are either of you interested in a Lancer named Josh to help you to feel connected to the shift and motivated while you compose?
Oh, will he follow us around with a weapon?
No, he'll just sit in the corner and bring you terror and joy.
there are people listening who have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes.
There is a Lancer mounted that I have that I love and I want to display in our home, but my wife is not in favor of this, and so she's trying. I'm sorry, guys, but she's going to everybody and trying to get rid of this thing. And
this is the wagon wheel coffee table.
Yes, someone in the chat had this fabulous idea that we should auction it off. I think that's such a good idea. It's like the size of a human bust, and you bring it out and the dog will cry when he sees it because it looks like it's a real person.
It looks frightening.
It is disturbing.
It's awesome.
But
maybe that's what a dog catcher looks like in the future, and we don't know.
Maybe.
There you go.
It may be. Maybe it was.
In that case, I'm sorry.
But it could bring you so much inspiration.
You're giving us a hard sell, and I'll be honest, I'll try anything once. So,
Nice.
maybe it'll fit in the corner of my room.
Twice,
my house.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, Justen and I will ship it to you.
All right.
Okay, great. Yep.
You do that. You heard it here first.
I tell you, The
we need to
advantage
raise a
of
little bit more
having
money
that-
for the film because we have to pay for shipping for this thing to get from
No, I'll
where you
cover
guys
it.
are to Nashville.
I'll cover it. It's on me.
All right. All right.
I have lost control.
Yes,
of
you
this,
have.
of this whole thing.
And apparently you've lost your Lancer as well. So.
Yes, apparently I need to go protect him.
2 birds, 1 stone. Invest now, angel.com.
One of the other great things about having you guys as being part of this film is that there is a song by Jars of Clay. And of course, those of you who aren't familiar with Dan is the lead singer and songwriter for Jars of Clay. And he, as with that band, they did a song called Oh My God, which was released in 2006 on their, oh my gosh, I just blanked on the name of the album. Help me out. Help me out.
Monsters.
Good Monsters,
Monsters.
yes, thank you. Good on the Good Monsters album, which is an excellent album. But that song in particular really resonated with me, and I've said this before, but it was one of the first times that I saw, or rather listened to a piece of Christian art and thought to myself, oh, there are more possibilities here. And look, Jar's music is filled with things like that.
Yes.
But that song in particular just really hit me. And I really saw Jars's music so differently after that. I think I went back to the catalog and I started thinking about, lyrically what you were doing. And I saw all these layers that I had never seen before. And that's just because I'm slow, Dan. It's not because you were doing a bad job. It's just because I'm slow.
Justen, did we get that good and so we can piece that out just for me personally?
Why do I let you on?
Just so I can
I'm a
move it
master.
my own personal meme.
I'm a fairly qualified editor. I can do pretty much anything, Erin.
Now it's on the new merchandise.
Brock Heasley, I am slow.
Slow.
But
sorry, I'm sorry.
Thank you for putting that up there. Shop.angel.com. That's great.
We're selling T-shirts. No, but getting back on my train of thought, which is so far outside of this room, that song resonated with me, obviously, and it has such an impact on me, and that's mostly because of the way that it deals with faith. It deals with faith in such a way that's so honest and not in a way that we usually talk about it. Certainly not at church, and yet it's a song that I have gone back to over and over and over again, to the point where I actually wrote it into the script for the shift, and I had a scene that I just knew that was the right song. And without it, I didn't see how the film could be successful. It was one of those, there's no other song. It has to be this song. And Dan has been kind enough to indicate that he is okay with that song being part of this film. And thank goodness for that.
So cool.
But Dan, with all of that as a very long preamble, could you talk a little bit about I don't want you to necessarily I want to burden you with having to get into the whole backstory of Oh My God, but what is the connection you see between that song and the shift, if I can be so bold as to try to draw that line?
Well, I think it's interesting. I've been trying to sort of process through. You've said it quite a few times that at the core, the shift is a love story, and it is this story of a person waking up, being just sort of void of all of the things that they thought they knew and loved and cared for, and the search to get back to that. There's something about that song that at its core is like being in that same place. It's looking at the world and kind of having the blinders taken off and seeing that, okay, now this is what the world is really like, and why does it have to be this way? It is sort of trying very hard to believe in something, that there's hope, and that the person singing the song would find their way back to something that is good and true and real. And I when I read the script, and certainly as I've heard you describe the story as it developed, this character of Kevin is on that kind of a journey. And so it really does make sense. The song really seems to parallel the character arc in the movie in just a very, very cool way.
No, thank you for that. And I see that as a huge compliment, that you would think that in any way that this film could pair well or mirror that. Again, just because that song has been so impactful for me. And those of you that don't know the song, please, I very much encourage you to go and look that up on YouTube. And it personally, in my opinion, it's Jars' best song.
But it's not the kind of song that you just casually listen to.
No, it's not.
That's the kind of song that you like go into a quiet space and like digest fully.
Yes. And I think that the experience is going to be similar for people with the shift in a lot of ways. I think there's, at least that's what I hope. I mean, I hope that people come out of it with a contemplative, attitude, and the music is going to be a big part of that. Now, what we're showing here in a minute here is the animatic that you guys worked on with me. This was something we created about a year ago with a very small group of people. I had an animator and I had an editor, you guys, and a sound designer, and a few actors who came in, including from the short film, to play these parts. And so it was like a less than 8 people group project, and I think we made something that's pretty impressive. Final question for you guys, and then we'll let you go, because I know it's much later where you are than it is here. Give us a sense of what we're about to hear with this animatic, and how much of this do you think is actually going to make it into the feature film? Are we going to hear any musical ideas that you? And look, I'm not asking you to commit to anything. Just in your current state of mind, what do you think is going to carry through?
Well, we did have we've got like a handful of theme ideas that, and there's one theme in particular that sort of makes its way through a lot of this animatic. Since, I mean, if you only got like a 10-minute thing to do, then you got to like get a lot of bang for your buck out of one theme. It's not a lot of time to develop much, so the theme that we came up with for that makes its way through the animatic a lot is I don't want to commit to anything necessarily, but it's a theme that that I really like, and I hope that it makes its way into the feature film in some way. And but it's definitely, and the textures, there are a lot of manipulated sounds of trumpets and brass and
70s electronic drum kits.
Yeah, like vintage electronic drums.
Things like that.
And some drumline stuff, because that's a texture that we've talked a lot about, Brock, that you really enjoy. Drumline stuff, and so yeah, it's wild. There's a lot of sound stacking going on there, and a fair bit of pipe organ, fair amount of pipe
there's
organ.
A lot of pipe organ, awesome. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which may or may not make its way into the feature film.
No cowbell.
Well,
no cowbell.
I was going to say earlier that I think the only real sound that we can commit to for the shift is the sound of the kazoo. That for sure is,
right, a must.
It's just a shoe-in. Yeah.
Yep.
The investments just ratcheted up. They were like, kazoos!
I was just going to say, Sherry Bowman is going wild right now. She had said that comment like 4 or 5 minutes ago, so she was ahead of the game.
Sherry, just be careful what you wish for.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. This is a big night, and it would not have been complete without you. So I really appreciate you. I know you're super busy, so we will let you go. Looking forward to getting together with you soon, hopefully, since I'm going to be on your side of the country here before too long.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
for
us.
having us. Yeah. We'll talk to you all later.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, Always a pleasure to talk to those guys. Obviously I've been a fan of Dan's for a long time before I ever got to know him, and so it's always just surreal to even talk to the guy. But we're gonna check out this animatic now, and after the animatic, we're gonna finally announce our 2 new cast members, which is very, very exciting.
I know who they are.
You know who they are. But I want to preface this animatic. This animatic is a piece of the 3rd act of the film. It's animated. This film is not animated, but this animatic is. This animatic is just storyboards to give us an idea of what these sequences are going to look like in the film. There are spoilers, so if you don't necessarily want to have spoilers, this is a good time to take a little bit of a break. Definitely come back here for the cast announcements. But there are some spoilers. There's also going to be some things that you absolutely do not understand because there's a bunch of screen time between the short film and what you're about to see. It's not really about that. The reason we want to show this to you is because we want you to understand just how big and expansive that this feature film is going to be. This is going to give you a taste of how different the feature film is going to be from the short film, which I think as an investor is a really important thing to understand. So if you're still wondering, do I really want to get in on this? I encourage you to watch this thing, or at least watch it on mute if you want to avoid spoilers. But yeah, check this out. This is the animatic featuring music from Dan Haseltine and Matthew S. Nelson.
You know what evil really is, Kevin? I mean, when you break it all down, it's not scary. It's not blood rites and red demons with horns and all that nonsense. It's just selfishness. Self before anyone else. Purest motivation there is, and I respect it so damn much. You hear that, Gabriel? I respect you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry. All out. Wasn't expecting company.
Yes, you were. You've been expecting company for 5 years now. I mean, that's your whole problem, Kevin. You keep expecting him to show up. And why shouldn't you? You prayed, he came. You knocked, he answered. Isn't it reasonable to expect he'll hold the door open? But he doesn't. He never does. When are you finally going to wake up and realize he doesn't take care of his own? He'll help you and make you think he loves you, and then he'll what? What does he say? He'll always be with you? No. Look at you. He's gone, and you're left holding the bag. Alone.
It's a test.
A test? Kevin, are you even listening to me? You passed his test 5 years ago. How many tests are there supposed to be? I mean, where's the syllabus?
There's supposed to be one in that drawer.
Oh, Kevin. I'm trying to help you. I really am. My offer still stands. You never have to eat baked beans from a can again. Unless you love baked beans from a can, in which case I'll get your truck full. I don't judge. I have so much to give you if you'll let me. And, unlike him, once you're with me, that's it. I got your back for life.
What did you do with my son?
What?
Did you shift my son away?
Oh, Kevin. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, I don't know anyone named Daniel Asada. I don't know him.
Amna, Mary.
Priya, hide the girls.
Rajit, come inside. Come inside.
Please, leave.
Hey!
Don't!
Gabriel, get down!
What are you doing in here?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Get out! Get out!
Oh! 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 Oh!
Gabriel? You are not supposed to be here.
Tina, please. Do you know where you are today?
Of course.
Tell me.
I'm far. Far, far away. Far, far away.
Tina? Tina, do you know who I am?
Kevin, at the table.
That's right. It's Kevin. You remember, don't you?
Kevin at the table points. The multiplicity of everything opens up. Swallows. Big gulp. I mean, in the words. Far away I go. So very far away. I am eaten in the words. I had a family, a husband, a daughter, a life.
Daughter?
What has he done to them?
I don't know.
Take me back. Take me away from here and take me back.
I don't know how. There is a man, men, and they're after me, and they...
Take me back!
Tina, calm down.
No!
Let her go! Stop! Just stop! Get back! Please, just let her go! We are fine! Tina, calm down! Just stop!
This is a great flick, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah?
She's this total badass who knows everybody's business because she's lived it all before. Owns this cop like a cop ain't never been owned.
Ugh, I hate cops. Hate them.
Telling you, great flick, great movie. Are you hungry? I need a sandwich. Can I get you girls anything?
I'm good, baby.
All right. I'll be back. I'll be back. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Who sent you? No one. Who are you? You have any idea whose house you're in? What you're into just by coming here? Did they even tell you? No, shut up! Please, let me explain. What are you doing here? Look, I know this is confusing. I said, what are you doing here? This is my world! My world! I am not here for anything you have. If you'll just put the gun down, I'll be on my way. You've got one. Why would he give one to you? He didn't. Give it here. I can't do that. I said, give it here!
It's intense.
Pretty intense. Pretty intense.
I
I can't
can't
wait to bring all that stuff to life.
I was just going to say the exact same thing. This is going to be a riveting third act for sure. Can't wait.
Yeah.
So I think it's perfect
And that's just
to
the
jump
beginning.
right in.
I was gonna say that's just the beginning of the third act. Like there's so much more that happens after that. But you're right. I just screwed up the whole segue. So you just ignore me.
Not at all. You know, it's a perfect segue, as I like to say, because that's how it's spelled, to introduce another actor tonight. And Brock, I don't want to steal the thunder here because you know this actor, and there's a reason we're introducing this actor right after the animatic that we just watched. And why is that, Brock?
That is because the actor who will be playing the motel manager for us in the Shift feature film is an actor that I know very well and that all of you know very well. You have seen his performance many, many times, and you just heard it as well. And let's bring him on right now. The motel manager for the Shift, here he is, live with us right now. It's Gregory C. Tharp. Hey, Greg, what's going on,
What's
man?
going on, everybody? Hello. Hi.
Good to see you.
Wow. Yeah. I love watching that
Greg,
Animatic. I'll tell you what.
Isn't that incredible? Well, and your vocal performance is so good. For those of you that aren't putting the pieces together yet, Greg is Kevin from our original short film, and of course Kevin from the animatic you just watched. He gave the vocal performance and that. And of course you also played Mob Boss Kevin. And from our test footage, yes, Kevin, Greg was kind enough to let me shave his head. I personally shaved his head that morning that we shot all this footage, and he let me do that to him just for this test footage. And then we put him under a hat for most of it. So that was really nice of me.
Still under a hat.
Still, yeah, you still got it. Greg, gosh, man, you're part of this film. You're part of this feature film. Can you believe we're even doing this thing after all these years?
It's what, since when did we start this? 2014 or 2015?
2015.
Which year was it? 2015.
It was 2015.
It's crazy. To think after all this time where we're at right now, who's involved. I would have never guessed it. Like I would have this project grew legs and then just started on all your hard work that you've done, Brock, with this story and everything that you've done. I mean, it is just amazing to see this project like take wings and just take off. It's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. By the way, I think you've got your palm on your microphone. Every once in a while, it gets unmuffled.
Oh, I am
But
so sorry. So sorry.
no, all good. The thing of it is that you're right. This goes for you and I. Our journey with this thing really started in 2015. And honestly, and I've told you this over the years, but I didn't want to make any formal announcements until I knew exactly which part you were going to play. But to me, there was no way we could make this film without you. This film wouldn't exist without you. For those of you that don't know the story, I'm going to tell it very, very briefly. But at the end of 2015, Greg and I were in a haunted house together. And you had found out that I was a writer. And you came up to me the last night of that haunted house and you said, hey, if you ever write anything, I'm an actor. I'd love to star in it. And it was 3 days after that I wrote the script for the short film. And it was a month after that we shot it. You know, and you really it was a very innocent request. I'm sure you say that to everybody you know who makes movies or is a writer. But
I get told that I say this to everybody. yeah. I saw, I really saw, like, in you, Brock, especially when we were working in the haunted house, was your management and how you dealt with people and how you were just a great organizer. And then I heard that you were a story writer, and I started to see some of the little bit of the comic strips you've done, and I was just like, oh, please be a guy that has something written, because this would be amazing. And sure enough, man, sure enough, it's almost like you buy the winning ticket, and I feel like I got the golden ticket, man. That's what it feels like. I really do.
Well, that's nice of you to say, but the truth is when you approached me, I didn't have anything written, and I had this short story that I had put in a drawer a long time ago, but it was because of you that I sat down and I thought, you know what, I'm going to turn that into a script, and it was really, it was basically the first script I ever wrote, and that's what became The Shift, and so it's really incredible that it started like that, and that it is what it is today. Because even back then, even all the way through making that thing, neither one of us ever imagined making it into a feature film. That wasn't even in sight at all. So it feels like such a great full circle moment to have you now as part of this thing. It's incredible. Do you? I don't want you to share anything you don't want to share, but let me just ask you this: like, as far as playing the part of Kevin, and I think you just did a spectacular job. Every time we've asked you to do that role, we've asked you to do that role 3 times now, and you've done a spectacular job every single time. What is it about Kevin that you connect with, and can you and only share what you want to share? But as far as your experience, especially with playing him the first time, and where you were at, and what you brought to that role.
There's a lot of different things I could relate to Kevin. I think a man that struggled with his faith, or a man that was put in a situation where he questioned his faith, is something that is relatable to me. I grew up in a Christian home. I grew up going to a private Christian high school. After high school, I traveled for almost 2.5 years in a Christian drama group, and I went all around the United States doing small sketches and skits, just in churches and prisons and schools. And then shortly thereafter, I completely turned my back on Christ and on the church. I completely went the other way. And I, through a lot of prayer, I believe, on my mom and my grandma's part, I've definitely come back to Christ, and I've definitely come back with more of a relationship instead of a religious, what should I call it, but like tradition. Because a lot of it was just, was more of not just a feeling in my heart for it, but it was just, this is what we do. I don't know if that makes sense, but I have a way better relationship with Christ because I've gone through a lot of things. I have a son who I had when I was 19, so I was fairly young. And, through my son and through my family's, constant prayers for me, the relationship I have now is something that has a better bond. And I think the thing I saw in Kevin too is the opportunity to have your what is it that we're calling the benefactor, the opportunity to sit in front of someone that's offering you something completely what you want. You know, you want to succeed and you want all the good things, but you'd have to do it for him. So there was this aspect in my life of like, are you willing to give up everything you believed in, all of the Christian stuff, because you want to follow what feels good or what is, you know, an easier path? And, you know, I think those are the things that I relate, or those are the things I think I could bring to the screen, or I did bring to the screen, that made him more relatable. I think that was the big thing. I believe people really saw the kind of the pain that I struggled, you know, on my shoulders, or how I in my face I portrayed, you know, the hurt. And then, you know, it's just, there's a part of me that I've done acting since out of high school. I've been in the film industry, if you could call it, here in Fresno, which, you know, is not that big, but it's there's people here making stuff. And so it was just an opportunity to do a faith-based film that didn't push the message so hard in the sense, but yet it gave it a whole different light. The way in which you brought it up and the way you wrote it, it was something I related to. I mean, I hope in everything I'm saying it makes sense, but that it was more the way in which you wrote the character for the things that I went through in my life. I mean, it just, that's really what it was, you know? And I'm really eager to see whoever it is you get to play Kevin, to see their take on it and their spin on however does they you know, see. Hopefully they'll see the same things I saw in your writing that just I was able to connect with. There were certain things you wrote that I just was like, I get this. I really get this, and I know, you know, I know how to show this. Like, you know, that was really, yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. It made sense. You're good. No, you're good. You're good. Thank you so much for that. Well, Greg, we want to show real quick here. We're gonna say goodbye in a second, but I want to get Greg's spotlight photo. This is going to be hitting our social media here probably in the next day. This is our big announcement that Greg is joining us as the motel manager. So we're excited to fly you out to Georgia and make all that happen. Thank you so much, man, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, you take care, my friend.
Been doing this. I'll see you guys. All right, bye, everybody.
Good seeing you, Greg. Look forward to meeting you face to face. Yeah, and look, for those of you wanting Greg to play Kevin in the feature, the decision isn't based on his. I mean, he could play it. He did it wonderfully in the short. But when you're making a feature film that you want to put, you know, get theatrical distribution, name does come into play. So I'm just thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled that Greg gets to be a part of the project, because I've grown to really love his performance in the short, and as many of you have. So it's an exciting thing. And when Brock told me that he was on board, I was really excited. And yeah, it's going to be great. Going to be great having him. So that's not the only cast announcement tonight.
Nope, that was number one. We have two.
Brock, I want you to take this lead in this one, because you have some nerd cred here as to maybe why you're particularly fond of this actor.
I do, and I'm really hoping that somebody tonight nerds out as hard as I am over this cast member. But one of the really important parts that's a little bit smaller in the film is that we have these two newscasters that appear throughout the film to kind of give us a sense of the world, and they have some really fun banter and things like that. And but this is a role where you want somebody who's talented in there. And did we ever get a great talent? We have cast one of those newscasters, and we've cast, the name of this newscaster is Tabitha, which for those of you that may have read the script back in the day, that is a name change. But I want to present to you the actor who will be playing Tabitha, the newscaster, in The Shift, and that actor is Emily Rose. And Emily, for those of you that you may recognize her, Emily has had an incredible career over the last 15 or 20 years, and is such a talented and beautiful actor. She has done some. She was the lead on a show on Sci-Fi called Haven for 5 years, which was a really cool show, and I mean, look, she was the lead on it. She was incredible in it, and she's been on a lot of other things, a lot of different guest starring roles on a lot of different shows and things. But for me, the part that really gets me excited about Emily, as much as I am a fan of many of the things that she's done, I am a huge fan of the Uncharted series of video game series. And Emily plays Elena Fisher in that series. Elena Fisher is the female lead of the Uncharted games. So she has featured in pretty much all those games. And if you've played Uncharted, then you know how big of a deal that is, because that, number one, that is one of the most popular video game franchises there is. And video games, by the way, are a bigger industry than movies. Most people don't know that, but that is true. And Emily is like voice acting royalty because of her part on Uncharted. And so, you know, actually, as I was playing Uncharted, I had no idea who played that part. But I remember playing even just the first game and thinking to myself, man, whoever the actor is who's playing Elena, like, she's really good. Like, she's really good. And that game relies so much on motion capture as well. So even though you're watching a digital, you know, creation, you feel Emily through that performance, both you know, the character and visually and the body language, and then of course her incredible voice. Emily's voice is so unique and special, and having her as part of this film in what is admittedly a smaller cameo type role for someone of her caliber is very, very exciting to me. And it should be exciting, first of all, to everyone out there who's as massive a nerd for Uncharted as I am. But also, I think it should be very exciting to our investors, because here's what it means to have somebody like Emily in a part like Tabitha. There are no small parts in the shift, period. And that's how we're casting this thing, is that we are looking at every single role as, no, we've got to get somebody really solid in there. And so Emily was the first and only person that we went to for the role of Tabitha, because we just knew she would kill it. And if she would, you know, be kind enough to come and play with us and recognize that, yes, this is a smaller role than what she's used to, but what a powerful and fun cameo. Now, of course, the challenge with having Emily as Tabitha, is that we've got to find a scene partner for her who can match her playing Brett. Brett is the other newscaster, because they have a lot of banter and a lot of fun together on screen. And I'm very happy to report that we are out to someone right now who will pair very well with Emily, and I think that she will be excited about to play with. But we haven't closed that deal yet, so we are not able to announce that tonight. But suffice it to say, we're going to find somebody really great to pair with Emily, and just having Emily as part of this film just is an indicator of just how strong this cast is. Even the smaller parts are not small at all. They're all important. They're all significant. We are casting this film in a very competitive way. Have we cast Kevin and the Benefactor yet? Nope, we haven't. And I don't have any news for you to share with you on that tonight. But who are we going to get? We're going to get somebody great. Somebody really great. That's what I know. And I'm so excited to make those announcements in the coming months, and those are definitely coming. So that's who we've announced tonight. Gregory C. Tharp will be playing our motel manager, and Emily Rose will be playing Tabitha, the newscaster. Pretty exciting stuff.
Very exciting stuff. And, you know, hearkening back to Uncharted, we're in uncharted territory, as in we're going 2.5 hours strong on the live stream. We are going to wind things down here shortly. But for those of you that stuck with us for this long, you're in for an absolute treat. I am so pleased to introduce you to Brock's and my dear friend, Vivian Aidukaitis. We're going to bring Vivian on. Let's go ahead and talk with her. And I'll remind you of our new merch while Vivian is coming on. And I don't know that shop.angel.com/the shift is actually working, but if you go to shop.angel.com, it wasn't for me. So
Oh, really?
And Ryan checked it out. So shop.angel.com, and then you can actually find the shift there from a list of shows. We do hope that the URL we were giving out earlier will work soon.
I got it. I've got the right URL. It's shop.angel.com/shift. No the.
Oh, for real?
Shop.angel.com/shift. You're right to it.
Okay. So
Ryan, can we get that corrected URL up on the screen?
And he did. So we'll try to keep that as it is from here on out, but just hopefully we don't all of a sudden add the article in after this. But it's go. Look, if you go to shop.angel.com, if you forget all the other stuff, it is there, along with stuff from Tuttle Twins and Wing Feather Saga, Freelancers. I mean, there's all kinds of neat stuff. But of course, we want you to buy the brand new Shift stuff from us. And that brand new Shift stuff was designed by the lovely Vivian Aidukaitis. Vivian, are you there with us?
I'm here. Hi.
There she is.
There she is.
Vivian.
Hello. Good to see you both again.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure seeing you, Vivian. And I don't want to waste time with pleasantries. We get to do that plenty. So, Brock, you and Vivian worked very closely together to design, first of all, the new logo, and then implement it into some new merch. So I'm going to bow out and let you guys have a wonderful conversation. I'm going to listen. I'm going to nerd along with, because I love this kind of stuff.
Great. So one of the reasons we're bringing Vivian on tonight is because we do have a very special surprise graphic design related object to share with you tonight, which is a really weird way of saying a very normal word that you will hear later when we actually introduce this thing. But Vivian has been doing a lot of great work in getting our design motifs behind the shift to be in line with what the shift is actually about, which prior to this, it wasn't that way. And I can say that because I'm the one who did all the design before this. The original design for the shift, the original logo, all of that stuff was done in like 5 seconds because I just needed to get something done and I wasn't really thinking that hard about it. And I certainly didn't have the feature film and all of that in mind. So when we came to like actually making the feature film and writing that script and getting all of that going, it was really apparent very, very quickly that all of the graphic design that I had established, all the motifs and everything, was not going to be sufficient for this feature film. And that's where Vivian came in. So Vivian, what I'm hoping you can do with us is just very briefly, help us understand how the shift got from where it is to design-wise, what it looks like today. And then I can't wait to show that big surprise, which kind of points to the future.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have to say that of all the brands I've worked on, the shift was 100% the most challenging one. It took me, I'm sure you remember, Brock, but we started talking about the rebrand like a long time ago. And it wasn't until this year that we were finally able to make progress. And that was due to a lot of reasons, but one of them being that like I was really stuck. And so there were multiple points in there where I was like, okay, this is the direction. And then it just wasn't feeling right, but we were going with it anyway. And then I showed it to Seth, who is one of our designers here. He's actually the one who designed the Angel logo, the Angel Studios logo. And Seth was like, we need to scrap this. And I was like, okay, you're right. And that was when we finally had me, you, and a couple other people. We had a meeting where we dove deep into the story of the shift. And that's when we finally made a ton of progress. And there's a lot of cool things that happened there. Seth was he was instrumental in bringing this to life. He's the one who designed the logo. He made a custom typeface for this new logo. The coolest thing I think about it is that it still stayed really true to the logo that you originally created. So they like, it's like the father of, or grandfather? What comes, you know what I mean.
No, it's
the son.
Yeah.
Is it the son?
It
That's
was one
right.
of those things. I think it was the father. We'll say it was the father, and this is the son. Now it sounds religious, way more than it should be in a weird way.
It shouldn't be that
But
religious.
it was one of those things where, like, I think my directive to you guys was like, look, I really like my original logo. And I think at first I was really hesitant. I was like, no, we don't need a new logo.
Yeah,
And
you said
you
that
guys
was
were,
the
like, very-
one thing you were married to.
Right. And you guys were like very gently like, well, maybe we should at least try, and I knew what you were doing. You were basically saying your logo sucks and it needs to change. And you guys weren't wrong about that. But there were elements of the logo that I really liked. And so I think what we landed on was a logo that kept the best of what I liked about our original logo and then made it 10 times better, which is where I think we've landed now. But I know you've got a little bit of a slideshow to show us on kind of like where we've been and where we are.
Yeah, we have some before and afters. So this is the before and after of the logo. I won't go in too much about all of the symbolism behind this new logo. But like I said, that was a custom typeface designed by Seth Taylor, who also designed the Angel Studios logo. And we went through a lot of iterations of this, and I love that we have the two, the two original lockups that you had, Brock. But the thing about this new logo is like the S in the original logo was so round compared to all the other letters, and that's when we finally realized that's what was throwing it off. We were like, oh, okay, the S needs to change. So we were able to design that S to be a little bit more square, I guess, because it's the only round letter.
It's an overall shape,
Yeah, it's the only round letter in that logo. So anyways, that was a challenge, and Seth nailed it, I think.
Yeah. A lot of the S's that we had tried were like way too futuristic and way too rigid and boxy, and we realized that no, the original Shift logo, like a lot of the character comes from just how curvy that S is, and look, we're nerding out hardcore right now, graphic design, and those of you that, and look, part of the reason for that is because I had a 15-year career as a graphic designer before I got into filmmaking, so all of this stuff is like, I could talk about it all day and all night, and we're already pretty long here, so we're not going to do that.
Let's keep going.
We're going to move on pretty quickly here. But Vivian and I could probably do this for a couple hours.
Yeah. So then we also added a couple colors to add to that color palette, but we kept the original Shift red, which was like a huge element that what made the Shift so recognizable after all the years that it's been out there. But the biggest challenge was figuring out how to bring sci-fi and religion into one world. And this is an example of how we finally came to doing that. Is we use all of these textures now that we weren't using before, but there's also that deviator interface, which that's what that is right there, is what the deviator is going to look like. Right, Brock? Is that correct?
Yeah, there's going to be so the deviator is the device that's used to shift people between worlds, and it's worn kind of like a gauntlet on the wrist, and it'll have a screen on it that's kind of like a touchscreen interface. And so we have a designer that's been working already on designing that interface, and so we gave those designs to Vivian and the design team, and then they were able to take those designs and implement them into all of our stuff.
Yeah. So using that deviator element with some of the photography is the way that we were able to mix those two worlds. These are some examples. So this is part of the big announcement, right, Brock?
Yes, this is part of it.
So
none of what you're seeing here is part of it, but we're leading into it.
Yeah, correct. So this is these are examples of posters that Brock and I played around with. But the big thing was, I showed these to Brock, and he's like, this just doesn't say enough about the Shift. And it's true. It's that first one, I think, was my favorite, and so it's the one that I played around with the most, which you can see more of it in the next slide. If you can jump to the next slide. Or not. We can go back to... Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh, there we go. So
this was
really
my favorite. Yes, this is my favorite. And then after I made this poster, somebody in our team made the following poster. That one right there.
Which just, when that came across my email or text or whatever it was you sent it to me on, I lost it. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So freaking funny.
We had a lot of fun iterating on that poster. But what it came down to was like it wasn't saying enough about the shift.
Mm-hmm.
And so we enlisted the help of our awesome designer, Jake Heron, who he's a Photoshop wizard. And so the poster that you're about to see was in large part Jake's work. And Brock, I don't want to spoil anything. Are we good to see it?
Yeah, we're good to see it. Let me just say, this is our official teaser poster for the Shift feature film.
There it is.
And there it is.
Man, it gives me goosebumps. So Jake,
so cool.
Jake and I sat down. I was like, this is what Brock is wanting to see. We sat down, and in about 3 hours, he was able to put this together. Because again, he's just like incredible at Photoshop. So this is just a ton of different images that he was able to put together. And I sat behind his shoulder, and I'm like, what about this? And so we had, by the end of these 3 hours, we had that man walking into, like this kind of destroyed city. But it didn't feel like it wasn't all the way there. And then I had the idea to include the deviator on him. And the moment the deviator interface was on this poster, it was just like, oh my gosh, that's the Shift. That's it right there. And there were actually very, very few edits that we made to this once I showed it to Brock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it was just minor touches. But what I love about that poster so much is, and the way you use the deviator, designs, is that it looks like it's a target on Kevin, and that's who that character's supposed to be, and it's like he's within somebody's sights, and they're gonna shoot him, which thematically is right on. That's spot on with the position he's in within the film. It's great.
I love it so much.
It's got a lot of layers of meaning.
We've now printed it, and it's here at Angel Studios in the Shift room. And everybody is like, well, we gotta go see the poster, and they walk up to the room and they stare at the poster.
I love it.
It's popular here in the office.
That's awesome. I need a print. Crud, we need to sell those. That's terrible. I just said that out loud. Everybody's gonna be like going over to the shop and wanting to buy them, but I'm just like, man, people should be able to have access to this thing. But maybe we'll do that. Maybe we won't. I have no idea. But I should have a copy. I want my own copy.
You definitely should. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so cool. No, I love it. And is there any way that we can zoom in on it a little bit? Because I feel like it's really small, and if people can't quite see all the details, is there? Okay, yeah, Ryan's gonna make that happen, so we can kind of zoom in and look on this thing. But no, I'm so stoked by that poster. I think it's just perfectly captures. Yeah, there we go. The mood. It captures the darkness, the light. It captures the symbolically, and I don't know. Like, I'm just word vomiting right now. I'm just so in love with this poster, and it's so nice to have something that you just unabashedly love and you feel represents what you're doing. And we got some cool credits down there at the bottom that we'll be adding to as we go.
And it's really impressive what Jake was able to do with the recoloring of every individual element of that composition.
Yeah, the original elements were like purple and green and like
they did not match.
He's a wizard for sure. Yes. Well, Vivian, I know we were really late, and you just want to get home. You want to give us a real quick thing and about the merchandise. You want to take us through that just for a second here?
Yeah. So this is the new merchandise. It's really simple, really. That one's just, the first one is just the new logo. We really wanted to be able to, since we had already had that first. But the Find the Light is, we made a hoodie with that line, I think it was a year ago. And it was
just about.
Yeah, people loved it. And so this was when we were redesigning the entire brand, Seth and I, who were working on it, this, like, the Find the Light concept was the one that we kept coming back to and working on over and over again. And so when you, Brock, were like, we should do a Find the Light shirt, I was like, of course we should do a Find the Light shirt. So we actually already had a lot of like the elements put together for that. But I love the new look. I wish we had the old look compare it to here, but I think it's just simple. It's there, and it has that little deviator element in the bottom. That's part of the deviator design. Anyways, it's just full of little Easter eggs when you look closer.
Yeah, for sure. No, and we're getting people already saying, oh yeah, I'm getting a Find the Light shirt. I'm watching the comments right now. So people are excited about that. And I think you and I are the same way in that we kind of prefer simpler designs when it comes to t-shirts and things like that. So that's right in the right lane for me. Like, that's a shirt I will wear. And I will proudly wear. And in fact, as soon as this live stream is over, I'm ordering a whole bunch. So
good, you should.
I should wear them.
Yes.
And then we've also got these stickers too.
Yeah, the stickers, same thing. I honestly really want that Find the Light bumper sticker on my car.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. But I really love that deviator element on the bottom there, because it's subtle, but when you know where it's from, it all starts to come together, right?
Yep.
And I'm actually really surprised. Cool. I'm really surprised at, once you showed us the deviator and what the deviator was going to look like, I'm really surprised at how much it's come into play in the overall design. Like, it's in everything we make right now, and it's there subtly and it's there not so subtly. Like, it's always there. And I think it's great.
It's pretty versatile. No, I love it. I love it. And I can't wait to see what else we do. This is really just the beginning. You know, we're testing the waters a little bit with this merch, and I'm sure more things will be coming, especially with winter coming up here soon. I wouldn't mind getting another hoodie or something like that going. But look, Vivian, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much, especially for staying so late at work. It's not like you got to go home and do this in your PJs. So we really appreciate you and all your work. And I know that you and I, this is just, I wanted to bring Vivian on here because really Vivian represents so many people at Angel Studios that are supporting this project. We had Jordan on earlier. There's Vivian. There's so many other people. And I want to give a sense of just like how much Angel Studios is supporting this film, how much is going into getting it out into the world properly. We've got more posters and more shirts and more everything coming up that we're going to be designing, and Vivian's going to be a big part of that. So hats off to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brock. And I just want to end by saying one thing. We here at Angel Studios, we love Brock. If we could pick favorites, I'm sure he'd be one of them. But I have to say, I think we like his life better. Erin has our hearts.
My wife?
Yes.
I'm not sure who's supposed to pay you. Is it me or her? I feel like
don't worry about it. Don't worry
about
it. I'll send the invoice.
Okay, sounds good.
Good to see you guys.
Vivian. Good to see you.
Loved talking with you, Vivian. Loved our conversation. That was sorry.
And you got to be quicker. You got to be quicker.
Hey. No, I'm just smiling and nodding. But you know what? We need to give away some merch, some of that gorgeous merch.
We do.
So let's get into some questions. It does mean it's questions and lancers. No, questions and answers. See what I did there. But before we flash those up on the screen, just another reminder: investment round is closing very, very soon. It closes tomorrow, end of day tomorrow. Angel.com/The Shift. It's now or never. Legally, we can't say never, right? But
no, we can't say that. It's not legally.
Yeah. If you're waiting for another investment round, I don't think you're going to be rewarded. Let's just put it that way.
You might be waiting sometime between a long time and never. So. I think I can legally say that. That's a word salad. They can't get me for that one.
Wouldn't it be waiting forever? Because if you're waiting never, that would imply that it's.
Well, that's why it's a word salad. Like, you can't make sense out of it. Yeah, it's
It is,
logically
it is.
impossible.
All right, and the merch we're about to give away is available. It's live at shop.angel.com/shift. So much of what we have out there on social media is The Shift, but the store, at least for right now, is /shift. So if you're not one of the lucky winners tonight, we're going to give a couple things away. You can go ahead and buy, and proceeds from that do go to support the production of The Shift. So, we must. My headphones keep falling out of my ears here. I've got to figure out
better buds.
Or maybe my ears are swollen. I'm under the weather. I've been hiding it so far, but I almost wonder if my ears are a little swollen from it because I've got a fair amount of sinus congestion. So. Anyway,
that's right. Prayers for Justen. He's not feeling well, and we are not making it better for him.
Thank you. And now I'm just rambling until a question gets brought up on the screen, and I don't mean to put so much pressure. There we go. Mike has a great question here. I haven't even read the question, and I'm already saying it's great just because I know that our live stream viewers ask great questions. A says, curious what you are looking for in the benefactor. Creepy like Christopher Walken, or more charming like Justen Overlander? That last part might not have been in there, but I assume he just got cut off when he was asking the question. Brock, what do you think?
I'm sure Mike meant to do. Yeah, so Christopher Walken, no. Yeah, I think charming is the way to go here. I always use the example of no Willem Dafoe, no James Woods, none of these guys who are just like, oh, you see them on screen, you're like, oh, that guy's evil. We want somebody who comes on screen and my preference would be an actor who has never played a bad guy before, which isn't to say that's what's going to happen or that automatically rules somebody out. But I would love the benefactor to be somebody that you implicitly trust, that you see him and it's just like, well, yeah, that guy's nice. And no, I don't want him to be evil. Like if you're having that thought the whole movie, then that would be a good thing as far as I'm concerned. So we're looking at people like that. We're looking at people who are more charming than evil and dark and who have a light about them. I think to me, that's the right kind of benefactor, somebody who is going to charm the pants off you. And you might actually just decide to let that happen because he's just so cool about it. But we'll see. We'll see who we get. But that's certainly the direction I'm thinking in.
And to be clear, we are not implying that the benefactor has light within him. He just knows how to use it.
No.
To get his way.
To mimic it. To fake it.
Yeah. Exactly. The great manipulator. Sherry Bowman, have you secured your film location yet?
Well, the film will happen on many locations. We know that we're going to be in the Atlanta area in Georgia, but the securing of the locations, some of them we have secured, some of them we're in solid and we've got the access. Others are still, we need to get the access, and then others still, I don't even know where they're going to be. That's the work that we're going to be doing over the next 3 months, is getting boots on the ground in Georgia and really, getting a fix on all these locations and making it happen. But the Atlanta area is where we're going to be. I'm not going to say anything more specific than that. Sometimes people want to know exactly what city we're going to be in. I'm not going to reveal that, but we are looking at the Atlanta area. We will be in the Atlanta area.
Yeah, and we might even have a location secured, and a couple days before it falls out, and then we're scrambling to replace it. That's just kind of how film
I've had
works.
That happen. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so I do believe now the next question that we show on the screen is going to be a winner.
A winner? Oh, nice. Who's it going to be?
So I'm going to predict that it is going to be Stephanie Hoff says, what is your number one goal in making this film?
Oh my goodness. What number one goal? I don't even know how to answer that question. So many things come to mind that we were trying to accomplish with this film. You know what? I think the number one goal has to be, and I know that some people aren't going to like this answer, but I really firmly believe this has to be the number one goal in order to be successful, and that is we've got to make an entertaining film. We've got to make something that people enjoy watching. If we don't make that, we're not going to accomplish any of the other goals, which is to have an impact, which is to bring some light into the world. We're not going to do that by making medicine. Doctors do that by making medicine. Filmmakers do not. So we've got to make something entertaining. So number one, that's the goal. Make an entertaining and great film. And then everything else will follow from there. That's the honest answer.
Yeah. No, and I'm 100% on board with you there too, Brock. There's no sense in making a preachy movie that isn't going to find an audience because they can't stomach their way through it. So definitely got to be entertaining. So yeah, congratulations on asking a fine question, Stephanie. And go ahead and DM us either on Facebook or Instagram and let us know that we used your question, and we'll make sure that we set you up with some merch tonight.
Yep.
And our final question of the night is another winner. We have to reward multiple winners for the endurance you guys have shown tonight.
For how
Thank you so
long
much
this
for
is.
sticking around. Yeah. Thank you so much for sticking it out. And we've got Suzanne Haroldson Kenny asking, can people with disabilities audition?
That's a great question. Not only can people with disabilities audition, but we've already cast somebody with a disability. Jordan Walker Ross is very open about his limp and his disability, I believe because of cerebral palsy. So we've already got a member of our cast who's representing this disabled community, and we would welcome anyone from that community. I have a daughter who has some disabilities herself, so I have a heart for people with disabilities. So certainly we would not turn anyone away because of that.
There isn't, from my perspective, there is no condition, no race, no creed, no anything that would make me say don't audition for this movie. So by all means, the shiftmoviecast@gmail.com is the way you can get in touch with us if you don't have representation or an Actors Access account. But yeah, by all means, definitely actors who happen to have a disability are more than welcome to audition. Wonderful, wonderful question. Thank you for asking that.
Great question.
And again, send us a direct message on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll be sure to hook you up with some free merch. All right, Brock, anything else that we need to, we'll just quickly remind again, investments end tomorrow, angel.com/the shift. And those of you that have minimized that window, now is your chance to go and do your investment or add to it or share. If you've already invested or you've gotten to the level where you're comfortable, share this with as many people as you can within the next day. Okay, do it quickly and express why you're compelled to want to get involved in this project, why you want others to get involved with this project that it's encouraging people to find the light.
Yep.
I got nothing else, Brock.
I'll tell you what, we're at the end of a very long road tonight, and we're about to launch onto a much longer road, which is crazy to me. But I want to thank everybody who stuck it out. I can't believe we've been doing this for 3 hours now. I can remember back in the day when we were scraping for every little dollar we could get. This is our 4th crowdfunding round. The first one, I think we ended with a 6-hour live stream, so we're doing better as far as that goes. But I just want to reiterate that this is the time. This is the time to get in on this. We're shooting in January. I don't see another crowdfund coming. I don't see another way in for people to be part of this film, financially speaking. So I hope that you will join us. I thank you, especially those of you that already have. And those of you that have added on to your investment, if that's something many people have done. And so if you want to do that, you're welcome to do that as well. I'm just so grateful that we are here, that we are about to launch into the whole new phase of the shift of actually making it. What an incredible, incredible thing that is. What you've seen tonight is just some of the team and the people, talented people, many of them more talented than I am, more talented maybe than Justen. these are people who believe in this film. Behind them is we're getting close to about 6,000 investors. And there's almost no way for me to say that without tearing up a little bit. I can feel it happening. There is something special about this film. I have always believed that. And now there are thousands of other people who believe that too. And that has happened in a very short amount of time. And in a very short amount of time, about a year, is what we're projecting right now. We look forward to bringing this film into the world and sharing it with you so that you can share it with everyone you know. I think that it's going to be a great time at the movies. I think it's going to be an impactful time at the movies. And isn't it about time we had something that was both, or at least more somethings that were both? I think so, and I think a lot of you do too. So thank you for being a part of this. Justen, thank you for doing this with me. I wouldn't want to do it without you, my friend, and I'm glad that now we get to pivot and go make this movie.
Couldn't be more excited. Thank you, Brock. Thank you, everybody, again for joining. Have a wonderful night, and remember, find the light.
Absolutely.
It's a test.
For every choice you make, there are countless other realities where you make different choices. Imagine the power to move one person from one reality to the next.
You can do that?
Just say the word.
You tell me! Where did everybody go?
When are you finally going to wake up and realize he doesn't take care of his own?
What do you know about me?
You're a fiend, a crook, a liar. Your goal? Misery.